Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, you know, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, you know, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Subscribe now.
Welcome to the Afridamus Report. I'm your host, Afridamus. I want to welcome all of you back to the Afridamus Report. St. James, welcome. So congratulations to the Afridamus Report for picking the Leroy and Tyrone Group as his major sponsor. Hey, absolutely. Happy companion. This is Africa, KBM, Alpha Baker. Thank you all for joining me once again. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to touch on a topic that I notice, even though many people talk about Pan-Africanism and what is blocking Africans, right? Generally, they focus just on, the colonization that is popularized, which is the white man's, colonization, which is the colonial administration. But there is an aspect that people never touch on, which is the most important aspect of this entire thing, which is religion. See, most Africans, especially West Africans, this topic here is not even going to sit well with many. But I've been thinking, I've been having conversations with people, and I put two and two together. I was like, you know what? Something is not right. Something isn't right. If you're walking down the street, anywhere, for instance, you would see black people, only blacks, Africans, right? Either they would communicate with each other in French or English, or even some in Arabic. This is the language they communicate in. But as far as I know, and all the different 13th grade schools I've attended in America, as far as I know, I don't see any white people or other people, proudly learning any African language, you see, and speaking it. You see, that's something to think about. Everybody that comes to Africa, any group we come in contact with, they have to somehow change Africans. They have to tell Africans, you have to change, as if something is wrong with Africans. And people don't want to address this. A lot of things that you're seeing today in West Africa, a lot of the problems, where do you think it stemmed from? Think about it. Think hard. The white man left, right? That was colonial administration. But the Arabization and the Christianization of West Africa, that's what you're seeing. In fact, when I went to Gambia, Gambia is a place where if you meet 100 people, 99 would say they are Muslim. And that's what is practiced, right? Okay. They take children to what they call madrasas. They learn about the Quran. People, they memorize this Quran. They've been doing this for ages. But also, you look at the teachings, what is being taught to Africans. What is this religion teaching Africans? If you ask most Africans, they're not going to admit it because I'm doing this show. But if you ask most Africans to paint the devil for you, the devil is black. In all these religions, the devil is of black hue, like the African. Even the African themselves, if you ask them, they would paint the devil to be African. Unconsciously, they won't even realize. If you ask them about God, their image of God is of a whiter, lighter hue. This is the preaching this is what they preach to children, in Africa. As far as I know, as a child, the preachings I've heard, you guys won't even believe it. To me, that's what real brainwashing is. Because literally what they're telling you the history, you know, um, like 6th century history about the Arabs. Truly, if you go and read the book, that's what it is. It's 6th century beef. You look at they give scholarships to a lot of Gambians to go study in Saudi Arabia. None of those people are studying to be doctors, engineers. None of them are studying to do these things, the things that would help, improve the African. The only thing they study is how to be imams, how to come and teach those people, teach the people back. And you know what those people engage in when they get back? They criminalize. They criminalize every aspect of African culture. When I was over in the Gambia not long ago, I observed it. That's not what it used to be. So when you talk about heaven, for instance, they will tell you that before you enter heaven, as far as the preachings I've heard, you would have to, God would, change you to become Arab, like lighter skin. And now you are shocked when you walk around. It doesn't matter what sector, what the African believes in. From what I've seen in West Africa, especially, you look around, women go and buy chemicals to lighten up their skin. Don't you think subconsciously, when they've always been preaching this from childhood? Because, as far as the preachings I know, there is no black woman in heaven. I'm just telling you, the Arjana that they preached to me, right? Because, okay, if you go to that heaven, you have 72 virgins, for instance, because that's the promise. 72 virgins, and they are all going to be Arab. This is specific. They are going to be that color, Arab. So I had the conversation. I asked the question. I said, okay, I get it. People say it's religion. But don't you think Africans, we should start thinking, how come, everything, like you can't even enter heaven black. They have to change you to a lighter color for you to enter heaven. This is why these women are painting their skin color. You walk around, whether they're Christian, Muslim, or whatever, they have to wear, some kind of fake hair because they are trying to mimic those heavenly women. Imagine from the time you were a child, they are preaching all that stuff. You see? So I had a question. I had a question. You see, I had a question. I asked this one imam. It was very, very interesting what I asked him because he described the Muslim heaven to me, which they call Al-Jannah, Jannatul Firdaus. By the way, you know that the devil, according to the book, which they call in the Quran, Iblis, the devil did enter heaven because remember the story of Adam and Eve? They used to be in heaven. So that would mean the devil had to have entered there, to try to get them to disobey God, right? So the devil saw what they call heaven. Have you ever asked yourself this question? How come the devil did, because the way they explain it, how come the devil did not just say, all right, God, you know what? I said I wasn't going to bow down to the humans that you created, but now here I am in this heaven, right? I see what it is. I changed my mind. No, the devil did his work to bring, which ended up bringing humans into the world, according to the book. That's what I'm going by, right? So now I'm speaking from Islamic point of view. I don't want people to jump ahead. I asked this Imam. He told me all about the heaven. He said you get 72 virgins, rivers of wine, like streams of wine would be running, streams of milk, fruits, any kind of woman, right? Literally, I'm just telling you guys, like, uh, people that are Muslim, they know what I'm saying. But you see, many people hear these things, they never think about it. Because you see, in Africa, you're not allowed to ask questions. Let's just be real. If you're a kid, you're not allowed to ask questions. The only questions you're allowed to ask is the one that they created for you. So you can only imagine. I used to get in trouble all the time because somehow these questions, I can't help it. They just keep popping up, in my head, and then I say them out and I get in trouble. So I was like, okay, 72 virgins and all this stuff. I said, okay, Imam, what if I'm not inspired by this? Because I was like, literally, if you're into wine like that, if you're into wine that way, why wait, to get to heaven? Just go to the grocery store. They have wine, all kinds of wine. You could just buy it. But you see, I don't know if it's just the African's mind or what it is, but our reward is always, you gotta wait till you die. And many people are waiting for that. They are waiting for their reward in heaven. And they tell you that this world here, this world here doesn't matter. Why even care? But in the meantime, they tell you and I, the Africans, think about this. If you want to enter heaven, you have to travel, right? You have to travel and go to Mecca. Do you know how much money it costs to go to Mecca? You have to add onto Saudi's economy. This is part of Saudi's economy. Think about that. And also in the book, what they promote, they say, when you fast in the month of Ramadan, to break fast, you have to eat dates, dates. I mean, go figure. So you say God knows everything, but we have mangoes, oranges, we have tons of stuff, palm oil in West Africa. But you see, they're not going to put our fruits in the book. You know why? Because it is biased against us. So you're telling me, oh, when you break the fast, you have to buy dates. Where do the dates come from? Hello? Think. Where does the date come from? Whose economy is that you buying those dates? Whose economy would it be boosting? I'm just trying to, paint a different picture to you. Like in the thumbnail, you see in the thumbnail there, right? In the thumbnail, you saw the African woman, the way she is dressed in the African garb. But now, let me tell you, see, when I was a kid, I used to see that all the time. But when I visited, now everyone is veiled up. Everybody is veiled up. Like, I'm like, truly, they've brainwashed the people. Because, look, it's one thing to accept your religion, but it's another thing for you to change tell me even the way I dress, I gotta change it. People, think about this for a minute. Think about this. Think about this. Okay, for instance, Africans, right, that are Muslim. Let me take Gambia as an example. I'll just take Gambia as an example. Like I said, if you meet 100 people, 99 of them would more than likely be Muslim. But I was thinking about it and I had this conversation with a friend. Do you know majority of the Gambians, the other, if they're gonna marry outside of their race, they prefer white Europeans. White Europeans. How come they don't want to go move with the Arabs? I see people coming from the Arab world. I've never seen them marry the Arab women because they said the Arabs still they see Africans as slaves. But I was having this conversation and I thought about it. I said, okay, if majority of Gambians are Muslim and they believe in Islam, they believe they share the same faith as the Arabs, or for that part, most West Africans. You look at it, when they have troubles, when there's the stability in African countries, even Muslim countries, if the faith, how come they don't run to the place where they share the same faith? They run to the white people. I was thinking about that. And you would see a lot of these Gambians, some of them, they are so silly. They themselves don't even know what they are in. They marry the white woman and then they're like, oh yeah, we're changing the white woman to Muslim. So he is brainwashed and now he wants to brainwash the white, he brainwashes the white woman. Now they all say they are Muslim, right? They start wearing, the Arab garb and stuff. So that's the conversation I want us to have here. I'm just giving you an Africa yesterday and the Africa that I'm seeing and the direction that it is heading into. Africans are losing their identity completely. If you don't believe me, even this that I'm saying here, mind you, I'm asking the question, why is African culture criminalized? Why do we have to aspire to go to a group of people's heaven that we know, even here in the world, we don't want to live with them? We know the Arabs are not nice to us. We know this. Africans, you can play this. And I'm not saying it's all Arabs, but I'm just telling you the fundamentals, the truth, what we have seen. There's a reason why subconsciously many of these people, they are not heading in, they don't go to the Arabs. They head to the white man's world. So let's call a spade a spade. If two things, if we are seeing people saying, this is our way of life, right? But it doesn't match. It doesn't match their practices. To me, that starts making me think like, okay, what's going on here? What's going on? They are moving from, like the regular African culture to, I bet you go to some parts of Nigeria, like northern Nigeria, where the birthplace of Boko Haram, you have the Boko Harams over there. They have, I believe some of these areas, they have what they call Sharia law. Okay. How is Sharia law? Because it's not native to Africa. It's not native to West Africa. Let's just be real. So if a certain law is being enforced in a territory, in an area, teaching the people to believe in this, people, what do you call that? Remember, the white people did the same thing. They brought Christianity. You guys remember that? Christianity. Even in the Congo, they used Christianity to enslave the people. I'm going to get to that in a moment. But I just want to talk about the Arab part, how you guys are sleeping on the Arabs Arabizing West Africa. Seriously, you guys are sleeping on it. All they do is send books, pretend to help us build roads for free. You think that's free? That's not free. During the pilgrimage, do you know how much money Africans take to the Arab countries? And then you go there and buy all those rams, and they pretend, oh, we're going to send some rotten rams back to you as charity. But it's not charity. You paid for it. St. James, thank you for the $10 super chat. Happy Friday to you too and everyone here. So I'm not gonna be focusing on to say, oh, black and white. No, I'm talking about ideology, because this is what it is. Ideology. Imagine Africans taking up arms against other Africans to enforce a foreign ideology. Hey, I don't care what you say. Say what you want. That's what it is. You look at Boko Haram in Nigeria. Do you think that's, regularly, if an African people are with their sense, what Africans do you know are willing to take up arms against other Africans just to change their mentality? If you know it, please put it in the chat room. I'm talking typical African group. That's just like me going to somebody trying to get them to be a part of my tribe. That's not even a thing. I don't care, and I don't even want the person to be a part of it if you're not born of it. You see, that's what Africans mostly care about. And if you look at the divide that this is creating amongst Africans, because I came across a debate on YouTube here. So Pan-Africans were talking with, it's like everybody was like, oh yeah, kumbaya African thing, right? Africa should unite, we agree. But now they forgot one part, which is the religious part. I'm telling you, that is Africa's Achilles heel. There's a clash there. Clash. A big clash that most of you tend to forget, because you have some, Western and Africans, right? Who believe like these Arabized African women. By the way, it's the women who they push this real hard. They've turned it into fashion. You see? Like, I don't even know who these women are anymore. I'm like, am I in black Arab land? I cannot believe what I'm seeing. This is no shade on anyone. But I said, I want my Africa back. The Africa that I recognize. Look, this is nothing against anybody. If you want to do that Arab stuff, you should do that in the Middle East. But Africa should look like Africa. Let's just call it what it is. If you don't call this out, I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you, within the next 15 years, that whole area is going to be Boko Haram land. Because you see what's happening, even who do you think is fighting, Mali and Burkina and fighting in the border of Burkina Faso? Who do you think is doing that? Do your research. I'm not here to pick on anybody. Some people will be like, those Boko Haram is not the real Muslim. No, you are not. Boko Haram, they read the book. You don't. You don't. So we go to Congo, for instance. I'll give you a little snippet. Did you guys know King Leopold used Christianity to do all that he did? And I'm just asking Africans, have you ever thought about, the same tool that was used to enslave millions of Africans, subjugating Africans? Do you think your slave master will tell you where heaven is? No, seriously, you think about that. Because just so you know, if you show up in that heaven black, in the Muslim heaven, black, know that your ass is gonna be a slave. I'm just telling you. If you don't know this, you better go read. You show up in the afterlife talking about, oh, I've been praying. Yeah, I am. I've been doing good. Um, I'm giving out charity. And this is another thing that they tell you. They tell the Africans, oh, you just put your hand out and pray to God. You see? So the Arabs, you look at them, right? Africans, I'm trying to wisen you up. You look at them. They are getting their heaven right here. They're building it. They are building it while you're over there trying to memorize the Quran, teaching a child to memorize the Quran. What would that child be besides a jihadist, a suicide bomber? You know? Now they want to turn the entire West Africa into little suicide bombers. We just want peace. That's all I'm calling for here. I'm trying to look, I'm not trying to paint anybody as bad, but we as Africans, do we have the right to exist as us? That's all I'm asking. Wherever you turn, you read in these books, everything about the African is criminalized. If you don't believe me, how come when you gotta be Christian, you gotta give up your name? Even if you gotta be Muslim, you gotta give up your African name. Tell me. Bless said, oh, you so ignorant. That's what I'm talking about, people. Look, Bless, I don't blame Bless. I suspect that Bless is probably African or something. But let me give you an example, right? When people stick to who they are, they fight for who they are. See, your identity is the most noble thing you can ever fight for. I'm just telling you right now. You look at Jamaica, a small island. The people who don't know Jamaica is not, I mean, everybody knows Jamaica. When it comes to culture, Jamaica is a cultural superpower. Tell me I'm lying. Thanks to, guess who? The Rastafarians. But the Rastafarians, they were a small minority in Jamaica. There is no amount of subjugation that the Rastafarians did not face in Jamaica. But you know what? They never backed down. The Rastafarians, they stood for their identity. They saw themselves as African, and that's what they promote. Without the Rastafarians eventually promoting reggae, Bob Marley, and all, many people will know Jamaica. Okay? They will not. But when it comes to culture, they are a cultural superpower. If there's anything you should learn from that is when a people stand up for who they truly are and don't allow other people to criminalize them, they gain respect. This is the truth. They gain respect. Let me read some of the chats here. Looks like the chat is pretty busy. Let me read some of it here. Let's see. Audrey said, they never specify what color they are. Man, Audrey, go read the book. I'm just telling you right now. Don't take my word for it. But even if they didn't say that, Audrey, you want to tell me, because the way they paint it, all people that are going to be there are going to be lighter color. So, and in heaven, people don't die. You just keep going. Would you trust to show up there by yourself? I'm just asking. I'm just asking. She said, Afridamus, that is your own mindset, not everybody's. Oh, no doubt about that. St. James said, I'm liking this topic already. That's right. I never felt that way. That's ridiculous. Well, I'm helping you think. Let's see. Visionary said, Afridamus, no Muslim. I don't know what she's saying. Something is dreadfully wrong with our people, Afridamus. You're right. I think the oil business benefits who? I don't know. Sabine said, haha, I always thought they had great marketing strategy. They had tourism in mind from the beginning by making it an obligation to take pilgrimage in their country. Exactly. See, somebody like Sabine, is thinking. Let me tell you, the world is changing, right? Do you know the king there in Saudi, King Salman? Right now, they're building hotels over there in Saudi Arabia. And in these hotels, this is not one of your quote unquote Islamic hotels. Now it's just regular hotel because they're trying to catch up with Dubai. You see how like all the Africans you running over there to Dubai? That's because the Arabs, they are being themselves. They are promoting their culture. They are not getting all weak need, you know, they're not even compromising it. Name an Arab you've met with an African name. Oh, wait. Name one. Name one. None of you can name that. So it is high time for you to wake up. You shouldn't be the one every time people come around. You're the one that has to give up who you are. You have to give up a part of who you are. They take everything. Oh, you guys thought your name was just taken, through the whip? No, through religion too. Most of you running around here talking about, no, I got a real African name. Nah, buddy, you better check that name. You better check that name where it came from. You see? So this is the problem. I know I'm getting a lot of you to think this over, but I think it's very, very important to understand your identity of who you are, truly. Because imagine, okay, most people you're talking to, for instance, they would say, oh, my ancestors were taken into slavery. I lost my name, you know, um, everything. So even you that didn't go into slavery, an African name Paul, really? An African name Paul. You want to tell me that's natural, that's original African name? African running around, my name is Muhammad. You go over there now, half of the people, that's what their name is. That's what their name is. Yeah, this is serious, man. Even that skin bleaching that you guys cry about, where do you think that is coming from? The Africans are saying they want to, go to the Arabs' heaven, but they don't even want to go to the Arabs' country. Does that even make sense? Shouldn't the world here be the practice? I mean, at least let's get to know, like, I look, I can actually hang out and kick it with these people in heaven. You see? I mean, shoot, they're talking about rivers of wine. I mean, the person who don't like you on earth, are you sure you want to be next to them, with that, potent, paradise wine? I mean, because the way some people say it, they say, man, that stuff hit 100 times harder. Because some people say it as if they went and came back. It makes me laugh every single time. You see? See, when I was a kid, I used to ask these questions. Like they were telling me about, in this story about, they said a friend of the Prophet Muhammad, Omar bin Khattab. They were telling me about how he was fighting, it's like two Arab clans fighting. So now, mind you, you, us as African kids, I mean, let's just be real. I'm not trying to be rude, but how are you going to gather African kids and telling them the stories of other people? What about our own stories? Are you telling me we don't have heroes? Do you think they ever gathered us and told us about Sunjata Keita and all those people? Never. Hey, one thing I gotta give it to the Arabs, they stick to their story. They are not telling our story. They're telling their story. In fact, they are teaching you to tell their story. The white people are sticking with their story. Don't you hear? This is why people would reference Greece. That's like over 3,000 years ago. They say that's the root of their civilization. Other people, that's what they stick with. But us Africans, just go look. Oh, All they tell us is, oh, you know what? Your people were bush people, your people were infidels, your people were killing each other. In fact, we did you guys a favor that, we drew all these lines. Isn't that what they told us? I'm just trying to remind you. Look, I don't blame the people that are telling us these stories. I'm not blaming them. I'm telling you, this is what the story is. Have you ever thought about it? It is your job. It is your job to really think about this. Not only have I thought about it, I've had the conversation with other Africans, and it blew my mind, quite frankly, to even know that they are thinking that way as well. One guy was telling me during his trip, right, in the Arab countries, he said the Arabs were, even he was praying, like going to the mosque, the Arab, mind you, the kids were mocking him. When they see him, according to him, black praying, they mock him, laughing at him. So that man, he used to believe in this Islamic thing so much. He said it made him rethink the whole entire thing. He started thinking, what is wrong with Africans? How come all these people, if you notice, they want to belittle Africans? You have to change your name. You have to change the way the clothes you wear, because you see, the way you guys wear your clothes is not civilized. Your food is not civilized. I'm just telling you, because the same way they talked about dates in the Quran, they could have mentioned mangoes there. They knew we got plenty of mangoes. They could have mentioned it, but you see, they didn't mention it over there. Now, I'm going to open the lines. I want to hear, the public's perspective. I gave you the little monologue, and this is not only the Islam part, Christianity, the same thing. You go to the Muslim part, you're like, oh, I want to marry your daughter. If you're a Christian, they're not going to let you marry that person, even if they're all Africans. That's what I'm talking about. Where did that thinking come from? Or vice versa. I'm going to open the line. I want you guys to, come in, give me your perspective. If I'm wrong, or you think I'm misinformed about certain things, by all means, come and straighten me out. Okay, here we go. So please, people, when you call in, make sure you stick with the topic. All right. The link is in the chat. The link is in the chat. So make sure you hit it. Before we get into that, let me remind you, of some of your favorite Pan-Africanist heroes. I wanted to remind you guys that Africans have their own heroes. Those men that I've shown you there, how do you think they became heroes? Obviously, they were fighting against a force who tried to control the African mind. That's what made them heroes. So they didn't see it as something beneficial to the African. But let me tell you, there were Africans who believe probably like, oh yeah, you know what? It's good for these white people to have their foot on our necks. I'm pretty sure there were some who were opposed to these men. Just like even today, I witnessed conversation where you see Africans, African to African, you know, African have no problem. You would see one side, one African have no problem insulting an actual African culture. But how dare you question their Islam or Christianity? Can you believe that? Oh, let me see here. You didn't see the link in the chat? Hold on, let me put it up again. That's strange. Okay. The link is in the chat once again. So give me a moment. Let me pin it. All right. So that is pinned up there. People, don't be afraid. Hit the link. Hit the link. That is pinned up there. People, don't be afraid. Hit the link. That is pinned up there. People. Sorry about that, guys. I was having some technical difficulties. But yeah, I see St. James in the back. St. James, your device is not connected. You might want to redo that if you can hear me. So what I was trying to say here is this: Africans, like you've even seen it here online. You've seen some people where when I say, "Oh, the African chicken foot religion," they laugh at that. You guys have seen it. They laugh at it, but how dare you question, quote unquote official language? That's my point. We have St. James in the back. I'm gonna bring him up. St. James, welcome in the house. What do you want to add onto this? And tell me about everything you've heard so far. If you say Afridamos, man, you've lost your mind. You don't know what you're talking about. Feel free to say that. But if you think I'm on point that out as well. Go ahead.
I thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it. You're right on point. You're right on point about these religions that we have in Africa. And for me, it's one of the topic that I believe it's the most difficult ones as an African to have in my own family.
Right.
I don't. I've tried it so many times, but as you can see, people are now willing to receive the message, the kind of message that we gather, throughout our journey, like going
Right.
back and wanting the conversations, not even trying to have people to change the belief system, just to have a conversation and ask questions. You know, you see people, they're now moving an inch towards, the reality of the situation, and I believe having these kind of conversations across Africa will help a lot, but believe me, like you said, you're gonna get a lot of pushback. A lot of pushback means even we have to consider death
Right.
because in the Muslim community in Africa, these people, they're not having it.
Right.
You know,
But
I'm
but but you see, that's the thing. A lot of people, you know, um, I don't think they even know. They just go with sentiment. They've been told a story. They don't see it that way, but it's just a story you've been told. How do you try to defend that more than your own real identity? That's what
That's
I don't understand.
yeah. You can't leave that kind of persona like for a long time. I grew up Christian. I had so many Muslim friends, but Christians we eat pork. Most of my friends who grew up Muslim, we ate pork together, but they always go back and lie to their parents that they don't
Yeah,
eat pork. We
yeah.
we
So
we went to the club, we did drink, we did all kind of things. And even growing up, I was like, okay, we didn't have a lot of restrictions in my religion like this. So, and I used to question, so if you guys have all these restrictions and you can't follow, what does that make you? So I never, I'm that
confused.
right. So
That confuses the African. So
right.
so that's my point. That's what I'm trying to, point out here, that okay, for instance, the Quran, you cannot just pick and choose. You have to, because these people say they are Muslim. If they're not gonna implement Sharia, they need to quit trying to, push this agenda. You know, tell us what the real agenda is. Is this going to help, promote and make Africa prosper, or is going to create a bunch of offshoots of, like Boko Harams?
Yeah, I believe, one of the objective of these some of these religion is to get power. Let's be honest. They found another way to just get power to get the recognition of the communities, you know. And sometimes, I don't know if it's good, but the Muslims over there in Africa, man, listen, there's a lot of questionable things in there. So, but I have imams. I know imams in Africa. When I sit down with them and I have conversation, I know they're not going to be receptive to the message. Like you said, going to Mecca, like back home, boy, it's like the last time I checked, it's like almost $8,000.
Right.
$8,000 to go to Mecca, and if everybody has to pitch in the family to send one person to Mecca. And
Look at
and and I heard the other day that El Hajj means stranger or something. That's true.
who?
El Hajj means stranger.
Oh,
Is
Al
that
Hajj. Al
El
Hajj.
Hajj?
Yeah, Al Hajj.
So
Yes.
you are El Hajj in your country. That's what the guy was saying.
Yeah.
You go to Mecca, you become El Hajj. You come back home, you're El Hajj. That means you are a stranger to in your own country.
Yeah.
So
The thing is, it's a matter of thinking, because, like you said, the example, those imams, they're not even gonna be open to this. Like I said, last time I had conversation with some imam, and I asked him, I said, you guys are promoting this heaven. What if people who are not inspired by it, like, do you still, are you gonna still force them to enter that heaven? You have to be excited about it. And another thing I observe is, all these Muslims, they are not living in Arabic Muslim countries. They are scared to go live there. They don't have peace there.
but
So
have you
how
noticed
is
one?
heaven? How is
Have you
heaven?
noticed? Have you noticed one thing? They always go there for money.
Right.
Yeah, they always welcome the money that come from these countries. These countries always help, Africa. So again, it's like the help is always needed. But anything else that come from the continent, now the other part doesn't want it. So I always ask, why you always ask for money? Why you always ask for help?
Well, because again, until the Africans stand up and defend the African identity and culture, if as long as the African, is not willing to do that, the African will continue to beg. You see? Because these people that are quote unquote giving you, saying free stuff, it's not free. You are giving a part of yourself to them, slowly but surely. You see? Slowly but surely, you would eventually swallow their entire culture. And that's not only changing your mind, economically. You look at it, Africa will continue to be poor. $8,000 to fly to go to Hajj, they could use that and start a business. Most of those families, they're probably poor. They think they are poor, but they could use that money and improve themselves, start something, but they won't do that. They would go and give the money to the Arabs. Let's just call it what it is. We have Kidola in the house too. Kidola, welcome to the show. Kidola, what do you think about this topic, Africa and these religions criminalizing African cultures?
Yeah, thank you, brother, for allowing me to come to your show and everything. Hi, audience. You see, Africa mindset is a totally different type of mindset. Africa generally have a religious, spiritual mindset. So after the defeat of the Africans in their continent by this new religion, Africa surely was kind of like curious about this kind of new god that defeated them.
Yeah.
And they were having some kind of high self-esteem, some kind of high regard for this new religion, because this new religion defeated them and conquered their land. But one thing they did give up, that they did give up the land, but they accept the religion so deeply, just like the way they accept their traditional religion. Let me go to the Christian aspect. You see, when the Christians came at the beginning, they were a little bit nice, right? That means to drag the people in. They teach them different skills. They brought kind of different type of medicine, and Africa was also curious about this new religious medical aspect also. They could just easily treat them with some paracetamol and all this kind of little pain and all these things. So they were very curious. Okay, this religion came here, defeat us. Who is this God? You understand? So they start accepting it. But the problem the Africans did also, the Africans so accept that religion so deep, even that the people that brought that religion. You understand? So the Africans started using the religion to create what's called class system.
Yes.
So if you believe more and you become a total different type of class, possibility those that believe more even are they are more kind of like business merchants, businessmen.
Like that, because I heard the church there in Nigeria is a big business.
Yeah, since late 1970s. Late 1970s, so kind of system of Christianity came to Nigeria, called by Robert Ora Robert. These ones that sing crusade, that sing hallelujah, beautiful music. They're healing people. You know what I mean? They pray for you, they will heal you. Some kind of miracles. But during those crusades of this foreign type of Christianity, the Catholic Church was always there. But the Catholic Church was also collecting the money by giving offering, harvest, bazaar, and all these kind of things they're doing. It's also a way of collecting money,
But do you also think they use fear, like, because it seems like Africans are a lot more scared of the unknown than most other people.
They will drag you in, they start intimidating you inside these churches. You understand me? So they start intimidating you inside these churches. Let's assume I was like a little boy when I first of all started going to what's called catechism, right? To start learning what's called the Hail Mary, full of grace and all these things. I couldn't really, because I have some stammer problem, I couldn't really follow up. The first thing the man did to me, he gave me a dirty slap.
Wait. The man, he said the man slap you?
Yeah, the so-called kakis, the kakis priest.
So there was the slapping was supposed to heal you?
I don't know what's supposed to do. The guy gave me a dirty slap that until today, I still hate that man.
That's funny.
That's why I don't really believe in religions too much, you understand? Because it creates a class system. Look, if you live in the city, right, that's what I said, religion is part of oppression also in the Christianity aspect, that's what I really know. The Muslim aspect, I don't really know much about that, but the Christian aspect is a part of class system also. If you live in the city, but most people that live in the rural area worship their traditional gods. The ancestors and all those things. All those they are gods as God of the sea. But if you live in the cities, and these cities, churches is like a class system. That means you're most civilized.
Right.
You understand? But that doesn't mean that when they have a very big problem, that they will not run to the
to the white people.
No, they have a problem that the
you know what, Kidola? I'm glad you touched on that part. You see, do you think the African's God is mad at the African because the African is trying to play its own God? Because even in the Muslim section, you have people who say they are super Muslim, but when they have issues, they run to the traditional God, quote unquote.
To look for their solution there.
To look for their solution there. So, you know, how a man or a woman cannot ride two horses at the same time? Like, whose side are the Africans on? That's what I'm trying to ask. Because it's like they treat the African God as like the you know, this supersized, the little God, like they don't want people to know that you know that God there existed. Even I saw some of the you know, the diaspora people who went to Africa, and now they talk about this African tradition, and some of the Africans don't like that you know, these people are pointing this out. They're like, oh, these people are trying to bring devil back.
The capitalist churches, you know, the one that really demonize the Africa type of culture really is these capitalist churches, these feel-good churches. You know, I call them the feel-good, these money grabbing churches. For them to be able to seize your heart, they will condemn what the other God they think you will run to. It's not because they like you, but they just want your money. So what I would say that this type of churches that came inside late 70s, to talk, the Cali church was already doing the same thing, grabbing money and all these things. But that, okay, you can understand. But when these other churches came, because the money, the feel good ones, the one that can sing very beautiful, lean on me and all this kind of music, give you all this kind of soul songs and everything, it now become like even a class system. You know, if you, even when you university those days, they have all this right from your secondary school down to your universities period. So you can if you even like a girl at that time, it will tell you come to my church. You understand? So the that's why most Africans, let's be honest, are very confused in terms of where they really belong to, in terms of in religion aspects. That's why they have two-face on religion aspect. Behind the scene, they run into Babalawo to solve their problem. Then behind the other scene, they have this kind of like oh, I'm here now. It's like this kind of bourgeoisie class. You understand me?
So do you think in a way the African is aware of this, but the African think they are playing a game and they are not, you know, a blind game that they would never win at?
You know what I think, Alphadamus?
Yeah.
They are so deep in it and they don't know how to get out.
Thank you, brother. That's it.
And they don't know what to replace it with. You know, even like I grew up Christian, like I told you, right?
Right.
So if you reject that religion, how are you going to get married? Because you have to go to church, right?
Right.
So if you reject that religion, how are you going to get married?
Well, I've been thinking about registering as a, you know, priest. You know, I can do it for $50 actually. I'll be ordained.
I went to, you know, the first time I started questioning this, I went to boarding school for 2 years. So I was around priests. So I know a lot about the people there.
Right.
You know, and as a child, I always asked that question, but there was no one around me I can talk to. Every time I ask the question, people are like, oh, you're not supposed to look at the other guy. Just look what you are doing.
Right.
You know. So even at church, if Kidola can attest to that, because when we went to church, it's the same thing. They say, okay, don't even look at the priest. The priest is the messenger. So don't look at him. I was like, okay, so why I can't have a conversation with the messenger? Why I can't ask the messenger questions? And the people will tell you, listen, he's not supposed to have all the answers for you. So it's either you have to accept it without it's like some sort of unconditional love. Like, okay, you can't ask questions, even if you see the flaws. They tell you, okay, everything is not perfect. I thought, this part of the what God has created is supposed to be perfect. They said, no, it's not supposed to be perfect. Even the priests,
Well,
right? The priests are not supposed to have children, right? They're
right.
not, when you take that off, you're good. You don't even look at women, but unfortunately in Africa, some priests have children, and even the church hide the kids.
Wait. It is the Holy Ghost, man.
Oh, yes. And I have seen it myself. I've seen it
Yeah.
happen in a situation where I know that lady, and I was like, that can't be possible, you know. And today, even if you look at Vatican right now, most of the priests in Europe, what are they doing now?
Right.
Pedophilia. They're into pedophilia. So what else are they doing that we don't even know? The Catholic Church tried to hide it for a very long time, but now everything is coming out. So,
Right.
and no one wants to have that conversations. I'm like, okay, when is going to be the time? When is going to be the right time to have? It's just a conversation. You don't have to change. You don't. If you believe in it and you want to die believing in it, it's fine. But let's have the conversation and let's give people options to go back to what they were doing before. Why not?
Well, that's the thing. Whenever you ask the question, right, people just say, "Oh, what? You don't believe in God or what?" But nobody ever talks about, okay, for instance, people who are Muslim, it's only like 1,500 years ago. So, you know, what was there? What did the Africans believe in? I know that the people believe in something which you still see them practice, because just like Kidola gave the example, which these people would say they are religious, but when they have issues whatsoever, they go to quote unquote the traditional God. But I think also some of the preachings about how you have to be, it would change you into light Arab to enter heaven. So some of these women, maybe subconsciously, that's why they bleach their skin. Don't you think that might have like a correlation? Because if you keep repeating this, because like I said, as far as I know from growing up, all the preachings I have heard, there is no black woman in heaven, in the heaven I was told about. And that made me really sad, you see? So that's why I'm asking people, have you, have you ever thought about these things? I know in Africa, they're not going to let you think about it. The moment you speak it out, you're going to get in trouble. But over here is a free speech zone. You can speak your mind out. So do you think, like, because God is white, heaven is white, do you think that plays a game on most Africans' minds to even want to change their skin color, or even treat other people that are of lighter hue than their own African self? Like what do you think? Are you there, St. James?
Yes. Like you said, it plays a big role. If everything around you doesn't look like you, you have to believe that the other side is better than you. If they're bringing everything like my Kidola said, if they're bringing the medicines, they're bringing all kind of things that you have not created, it creates a sense of inferiority within you, not intentionally, but
DJ, he said, brother, there is all kinds of women in heaven. They are Hurul Ain. Hey, call in, please come here and describe these Hurul Ains for us. I'm just telling you, like,
uh,
hey, it's a conversation. Come on through. Say, hey, Afridamus, you're wrong. Maybe you didn't understand it. Come down and explain yourself. Explain yourself. Go ahead,
mhm.
St. James. Sorry.
I remember when I was back in Africa, I was attending church one day. We live near the biggest church in my country. We live near there, so you can know that, I couldn't miss church when I was there, right? So, And one day there was a white priest that came from Europe, right? And he attended us that church that day. And he was surprised to see the amount of people that came. Not because of him, because that's the same attendance we get like every Sunday or Saturday. He was
Right.
like, he was surprised, like, yo, he's like, I'm under the impression that God favor your country. He favored Africa because everywhere I go, it's always packed, and you have people outside
Waiting. And
waiting.
the normal pastors don't get that.
Don't get that. It was like, yeah, even in where I come from, I barely see 15 people in
Hmm.
one day in my church. At that day, it was like thousands of people outside. And I always wonder why. Well, if you guys brought it to us, right? Why in your place you don't get to fill this place like in Africa? And those questions, I had those questions when I was a child, not even now. I was picking
Well,
up all these things like why?
hmm
And yes, like growing up with no answer, like it was difficult. When I got here, trust me, I don't go to church. You know, I know God exists. I know how to reach out to Him, and that's enough
right.
for me.
Exactly.
That's
See,
enough.
see, see, these people, they want to be the intermediary, like the middleman between you and God. See, only smart people get to see that. See, like people would ask me, Afidamus, do you believe in God? Yes, I believe in God. I don't know if it's the same God you think of, but I believe in God, the creator of all nature, right? But I don't believe that there is another human being who who should be the middleman between myself and God. Because that's just, it's like you're just bringing me the information, but my heart, my mind, my soul have to feel it and be one. And for many Africans, I'm not seeing that. So, but the ones that believe in the traditional African stuff, they are more about that 100% because those people are not running to the church when they have issues, but the church people are running to them. You see what I'm saying? And even the Islam people are running to these people as well.
Uh, exactly. You made a great point, right? There was this guy in my, you know, somewhere in my country that, we used to talk to. And the guy was like, okay, one day I was talking to him, he was like, do you believe in God? I said, yes. Do you believe in this religion? I say, I don't know. He's like, okay, if I tell you that these priests come to me, they come consult. I was like, wow, I did not know that. And he gave me the evidence how these
Yeah.
people come at
Mhm.
night to talk to him. And I was like, okay, I was more confused. It was like, okay, I'm just letting you know this is the right way. And every time we talk to that guy, there ain't nothing difficult about it and nothing crazy. It's like he will tell you this is what you guys was doing before you came in contact with this, you know.
But St. James, what blows my mind? Africans would choose to go live with white people before they ever live with Arabs, you know, even the Muslim ones. Have you ever like thought about that? Because you're supposed to be in heaven with these people, but you can't even share a few years with them on earth.
Uh,
Like,
there
like,
is something there is some sort of energy that come between the Africans and the Arabs, man. They all know that, like you said, we know. The
yeah,
feeling is there. You know these people. You can't even explain it.
here. Let me read this. B, thank you for the £5 super chat. B said, "I'm waiting for the Somalis to phone in and swear there is no racism in Islam." Yes, yes. Actually, I would love to have a Somali or two call in, and because usually they would call into this. And let's see, Dejar responded. They said, "Afridamos, there is thick, curvy ones: Africans, Arab, Orientals, Hindi, white ones, all kind, fine women. That's not what my imam told me. The imam I spoke with, that imam, and from the preachings, St. James. And another thing, right? Africans should think about with all this slavery thing. And in heaven, they said, you're not gonna die, it's forever. Africans need to rethink this. Entering the same place with your slave master. St. James, that's something to.
Nah, no one is going to determine what's heaven is for me. No one is going to
Thank
determine.
you.
No one is going to tell me, oh, don't worry about this life that you're living because everything is going to get better when you get to heaven.
Right.
So if you haven't visited that place, you can't tell me how it look, And most of the people, like in my neighborhood, right, the old ladies that used to go to church, the same old lady that used to go to church that believe in that thing, right? The one that didn't even have the means, that didn't have no money. When I went back home, every time I visit back home, I go to that neighborhood. The same ladies are still going to church. They're still praying for the same issues, the same problem. After so many years, they still have the same problems. Life hasn't changed. Problems still remains. And I ask the question, so what? That place that you go to every day is not solving the problems, and it keeps getting bigger.
Right.
In my country, look, like we are like 65% Muslim. Look at the country now; it's in shambles because of that religion's extremism. Extremism.
Which Mola wrote here. He said, Sharia has totally destroyed northern Nigeria, millions of uneducated youth and potential terrorists. Like on the thumbnail, I'm glad Mola said this. If you look at it, they are teaching students, right, how to memorize the Quran. Just to memorize it. What are they going to do with this? This is what you're finding in northern Nigeria. Lots and lots of youths. These are potential Boko Haram candidates. You see? They've all, because you look at in Nigeria, that Boko Haram thing, from the time that it became popular, I'm pretty sure it was there, but it never stopped. It just keeps increasing every year. And it's spreading to the Sahel region, like Burkina, Mali, all those areas. And before, it used to be people from outside, but they're recruiting Africans themselves. And these people say they're doing it in the name of religion. You cannot find any group that say, oh, we're here defending spreading our African tradition on other people. This is the way to go. You will never find that.
And this is what look at where these finances are coming from. For them to be able to do those things, just look at where the money is coming from. It's not coming from Africa,
right?
And because they know they have easy target. Like when they come to your country, they know these kids are already reading the Quran at a level that no one's reading it. So it's easy to tell them, hey, you're doing this for our God. So they will go ahead and do it. Killing thousands of people in one day is not a problem. As long as they feel like they're spreading the message of their God.
Mm-hmm.
And killing another human being who did not agree with you is cool now in this side of the continent. So I don't understand it. And our leaders are doing a poor job. Even in Burkina right now, they say, okay, we cannot defeat these people on the ground. The military alone cannot defeat these people. It's a mindset.
Yeah, obviously. That's what I'm trying to point out. Like, look at Al-Shabaab in Somalia. How many years they still cannot get rid of them either. You know what I'm saying?
As long as you have the mosque, you have these imams. I'm not saying all of them. Let's be clear. I'm not saying all of them. As long as you have this mosque and these imams, like look at in your country, even mine. Look at this mosque. They are spreading all over the place.
Right.
And the message is the same, praying. And, I'm like, okay, this kid is like 11 and he's reading the Quran, like inside and out, like to do what with it?
Like in the meantime, the Chinese kids, the Asian kids, other people are building.
Learning
They're
trades.
teaching, they're learning trade, because and these kids are gonna come back and control these other kids that you are teaching to become suicide bombers.
Absolutely. There is no power in that. That's if I was the president of my country, I'm like, man, we gotta close this thing for 1 year. Like, just for the sake of closing it so we can talk to one another directly. No church, no mosque. I know people are gonna be mad, but this is one of my solutions. Like, let's not even do that. Can we try, like, in the hallway back then? We didn't have those things.
Rwanda did it.
Okay.
I heard Paul Kagame, he came, he said no mosque. Oh, it looks like we got Kidola back. Kidola, you dropped off there for a minute. Thank you for coming back.
Yeah, I switched to my solar.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Like, what did you want to say?
As I was saying, you see, the corruption. I don't know much about the Muslim part, because I live in the South. I'm by religion Christian.
Yeah.
The most corrupt. You cannot differentiate between a pastor and a politician in Nigeria. You understand? Because both of them are linked together.
Right.
You understand? So they will use this religion because, you see, black people always think they have supernatural being that will save power, that will always save them. So because black people naturally, they are always very superstitious. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
When they see, they're always very superstitious. They only think there's something chasing them, or when the sun is too hot, they think, why the sun is too hot now? They always think, who is angry? Then there's the other gods, the other want to run to have a very sweet mouth. You understand? So you see, for you to be able to convince people, that's what when I mean the capitalist one, to talk, they're all the same. They are very charming. They have a heavy charisma, and they can easily have when they preach to you, they would just dominate your soul.
Man, have you met those Muslim preachers? Some of them, they would use all kinds of emotion. Like, wallahi, in heaven, Jannatul Firdaus. Like, see, my thing is just like the same thing, like those pastors in the church. I've seen them too, shalalalalala, doing all that kind of stuff, even though they're not doing the tongue. But to me, if you're no need to add all that emotions to it. My thing is translate it to my language. The preachers, some of these preachers we were talking to, okay, they say it in the Arabic tongue, but the moment they translate it to our language, to the people, translate it directly to most of the people.
You see,
if you translate it to them, like the things I have read, trust me, they would lose a lot of people. They pick and choose.
The problem with the northern part of Nigeria is these politicians came and saw them use them for politics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then after the politics, these politicians started building houses. Their gates are like gold plated big gates, big mansions and everything. It's corruption, corruption that lead to the problem in the northern part of Nigeria. When there's corruption, there's chaos. You understand? Even down to the south, heavily corrupt. These guys don't drive cars anymore. Their new car is a private jet. You understand? Private jet. They travel by private jet. And who are the advisors to these corrupt politicians? Pastors, heavy pastors, all kind of pastors. And these are the things that drag Africans backward also, in terms of development, in terms of far thinking, in terms of other things. If you check the Europeans that brought this religion, they are not too deeply involved even. You understand?
Oh, I know.
You can
I see them here.
Yeah, you can see their way of technology, the way they think. They think very far. They think about themselves. You understand me? My brother, look, I live here. I'm married to one here. You know what I mean? Their mentality, I see the way it is. You understand me? They are not in a hurry. but they are very focused what they want to achieve. You understand me? And they're also very good in what called financial things also. You understand me? You can hardly see them with gold or one of the most expensive shoes and all these things, but they're all well to do. You understand? But we Africans, the more you have like heavy dresses and everything. If you go to Nigeria churches, my brother, if you have little money, those are drivers kind of heavy cars and everything, they will go and show it up there. And these pastors in Nigeria even buy jets. So how do you expect a attender who cannot even eat coming to that church is giving you, he or her money as offering? You can't grow. You don't have anything.
So it's a hustle.
It's a hustle, and that hustle is dragging them badly backward. You understand me? Badly backward. So as long this religion is heavily involved in your system,
what do you think? What do you think would be the solution for Africans? What's the solution?
The solution is honesty. We have to go back like way back inside 60s and 50s and 30s and 40s.
Oh, maybe way beyond that, and pick the good things.
Yeah, way beyond that and pick the good things. You understand? Because if you check in this modern time, any of these people that talk to you just because of their status, you can see that their state, they always have agenda. You understand me? Agenda. It's always an agenda base.
Because Kidola, look at this. People walking around in, covering their face. It looks like you are in an Arab country, like you're in Afghanistan or something. Think about that for a minute. That mindset, it is spreading. It is spreading throughout.
That's the craziest part. Let me tell you that one story here. That when I was back home, right?
Yeah.
I was talking to this girl, right? Nice girl and everything. And we were young. I wasn't even thinking about, like, we were so young, I wasn't even thinking about getting married. I was like, I had planned and didn't finish school and all that. And she was like, and one day she was like, yes, what do you want to do with me? I was like, yeah, we're kicking it, right? Like, we young, right? First of all, I can't go to her house because she said, if you come to my house, my dad is going to ask for your name, but your name sounds Christian, but he's not going to allow you in the house. So basically, we were trying to come up with a plan, and which we did not find. And she was like, okay, now what's your plan? If you want to marry me, so what you have to do is you're going to convert to my religion, and then and hopefully my uncles can introduce you to my father. I was so young and I was shocked. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I know. I heard the stories from other people. I did not even know it was gonna be my own self, and I was like, me become you or your religions, and I have to convert your religion in order for me to marry you. And I wasn't even ready to get married. I was like, okay, so you're looking for a man right now to get married at that age? She was like, yes, that's possible. If you want to marry me, yeah, we can make it happen. I was like, God.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Meaning you have to, change. I saw a guy who did that where, this is a white man. He didn't want to change, but he pretended. He said he even cried when he did it because he knows it's not deep in his heart. But see, that's the thing. People can pretend. You can say, oh, you got to convert to my religion. But if some people are willing to go that far to change it, but just the simple fact that, this is what replaced the actual African culture. Because if you look back, those people originally, that's not what their culture used to be, but the religion changed it. We have Obinto. Obinto, thank you for joining me. What do you want to add on to this?
Thank you for having me. Can you guys hear me?
Hey, we can hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to make one point about Islam and the other point about Christianity.
Yeah.
I grew up Christian, so I have personal experiences with Christianity and why I decided that when I was growing up that, okay, maybe this stuff isn't real, or maybe like God isn't into our lives as you guys claimed you are. But the one I wanted to mention first was about Islam. You guys ever notice, because I also have Muslim extended family, they always told me that the language of the angels, according to the Quran, is Arabic.
You know, I'm glad
Isn't
you
that
came.
just
Obinto, I'm
isn't that
glad you
convenient?
came. Yeah, Obinto, I'm glad you came and said this. And also entering heaven, you have to be, Arab. People thought I'm making this up in the chat. I'm glad you came and spoke the heavenly language also. And
Isn't it
if you,
ironic that the language of the prophet is the
yeah,
one that the angels just happen to speak, a
mm-hmm.
language that didn't even exist more than just a few thousand years ago,
look,
but a
if you
God that existed for millennia is speaking that same. Come on, man! Like you have to twist your brain into some knots to believe this. And the
look
other
here,
one was okay for Christianity personally. I remember when I was a kid, my mom's closest friend, she had leukemia, and I kid you not, she went. I mean, she was going for chemotherapy as well, but during the rounds of chemotherapy, I think every pastor in the southern hemisphere might have laid a hand on her and told her she was going to get healed.
lot of
Unfortunately, she died. Yeah, unfortunately, she died. But I remember asking my mom, well, didn't every pastor say she was going to get healed? So either these guys are false prophets or God doesn't exist. And she told me, no, it's God's will. Then I asked her, wait, if it's God's will, then why would he lie to her and tell her she's going to get healed through these pastors?
right.
And they just shoo you away like a kid in Africa. So I was like, but that always played in my mind. And I that lady was a good Christian, man. She did everything. Like, so I was like, if that's going to happen to her, what's going to happen to me? Like, if she doesn't have protection, because you as a kid, that's how you think. So yeah, those are the two things. And you know how
But you're right. You're right.
Muslims always say African spirituality is witchcraft. But have you
Yes.
seen what they do around the Kaaba when they're running around the Kaaba?
Yes.
Isn't that
Yes.
definition of? They act like they've been. Look,
We
there's no
just had
difference between Muslims when they're running around the Kaaba.
we just had a conversation about this, and somebody brought this up, and they even put a video where this Arab guy was around the Kaaba, around the black stone, and like rubbing it with oil, like rubbing it. You see, so it's a stone, but the same strategy. Imagine like there are some African traditions who they have the stone too. Like if you go to like some of the Jolas, they have the stone, but they would say that is black magic. You see, so that's what I mean by, the same thing, but one is criminalized, the other isn't. But I understand if you don't have the heavenly language, how would you be chosen? So all these Africans, even here's my thing: all these Africans that cannot speak Arabic, how do they expect to enter heaven? Unless the transatlantic slave trade is gonna resume there too. I don't know what's going on. You know, like what do
I
you
Afrikaans.
think
guys
that
think?
And
uh,
one thing that Muslims always, especially Muslims, are always denying is the fact that there is a hierarchy in Islam. Arabs at the
Mhm.
top, everyone else ranked below. And
This
that is
is
how it
true.
has always been in Islam. Look at the way,
Mhm.
forget even Africans, look at the way the Arabs treat the Desis, like the Pakistanis, the Indians, and so on, the Southeast Asians. They treat them like dirt. So, yeah, it creates a hierarchy, racial hierarchy as well. These guys don't want to admit it.
And they never will admit it. Because like when you go to like I said, over in Gambia, you're gonna see a lot of people. For me, like in the past, there were people who were Muslim, but they're still in their African form. They do their prayer, right? But now the whole image, everything has to change 100%. That's the point that I'm, highlighting on, because wherever you look, other people, you don't see Arabs trying to copy Africans. If you see it, let me know. I don't see it. No one is copying Africans. In fact, they are saying African cultures are inferior. And it is Africans themselves that perpetrate it and push it. If you
so
ask Africans, what color is the devil? They would say black. They would say black. Am I
Yeah.
lying, guys?
So you're right. So from that point on, we have to get our scholar to working. So if they look at us like, okay, we can't take anything from you, although I know that many people have taken from Africa. So for me, this is this is where I stop. So the copying, like trying to resemble to someone else, for me, I look at religion as a lifestyle.
Yes.
Nothing more, nothing less. It's just a lifestyle. But for those who want to really believe in it, like the prayers, like the 5 prayers, like we said, 5 prayers, I'm like, it's like learn a trade in a day. If you can read 5 times a day, like I would be learning a trade that will which will impact my life way better than reading this stuff.
That is a memorization, man.
Yes.
It's
That means you
cannot.
gotta,
They
yes, a
tell
lot of
you
people
that
don't
it's a
read.
blessing. They said you will be rewarded in the hereafter.
Bro,
We
like I
have
told you, I went back home and I saw the same lady I left there many years ago. They still drive the same car. Those who didn't buy a car are still walking. Nothing has changed. And when you listen to them, it seems like their problems are doubled. So I'm asking, okay, why are you like some people they go to church like in the morning and at night, so twice a day.
Yeah.
So this, which is ridiculous. Like, I don't know. I mean, for me, the way I look at it, I don't know if we lost that, but I know even myself. Some of my uncle, I can talk to them about religion. I know what they're gonna tell me. So for us, it's gonna be tough, man. So maybe we have to just chill and let a generation just
keep going,
and we can just that's the way I look at it.
Oh, good. We got that Raven. That Raven. What do you want to say?
All right. Okay. So I almost thought that you were not gonna let me in.
Oh no. Usually Mohammed Fatah, I see you too. Just hang tight. I'll bring you in.
Right. Religion. It's a form of control. I think we all know this as well. It's a form of control either for positive or negative as well. In times of antiquity, when people were less knowledgeable, religion was used in a way to control society, to educate people. It's the first form of, at least a theological or first form of education, to educate people how they should behave, how they should be in a society. Now, those are about, and it comes with rules. Rules are meant to control people. They're meant to make people behave a certain way, act a certain way. That could be positive for society. Now, what you have to look out for is the person that gets to dish out those rules. You understand me?
Okay, so that Raven.
Yeah.
Sorry for cutting. Where you calling from again?
I am calling from Sudan.
Sudan. Okay, that took you forever.
So,
okay, that Raven. As far as like the, I wasn't cutting you off because of what you're saying. On I just wanted to ask you something. As far as like the African goes, like I'm saying about the identity, many people probably they're not picking up. They think I'm attacking the spiritual aspect. No, I'm looking at how the African's mind is completely changed around foreign stuff.
Right.
You see, like you know, everything about us has to change. So to me, that's not true to who we are. We have to give up a part of who we are to be a part of these things.
Because it's part of it's an expression of who you are. Your theology is an expression of who you are. It comes from where you are. As you said, I have looked around in enough panels to say it doesn't just affect Africans. It affects all those even who are not necessarily Africans, but they're Muslims from other parts of the world. They look into Arabs as they are some type of word. I've seen this with Pakistani people. I've seen this with Somali people. They have this veneration of these, to a certain extent, of these types of people. We have one here that always is booty clapping to the Arabs all the time and all that stuff.
Wait. He said somebody's doing what?
We have another person that's always booty clapping to the Arabs and all that stuff. But
You're funny.
I've seen it too with Afghanistan people, where they express this type of naivety African Christians have with Europeans. The Afghanistan people, some of them have it with Arabs. Pakistani people don't. Look at how the Pakistanis are treated in Dubai and all that stuff. They treated as lesser than. You understand what I mean? Because these people brought these theology that's deep towards them. So it kind of creates, so people think it's just Africans that have this white
But that Riven,
you know, so,
that Riven, as an African, right? You know, what would be like? What would you say to Africans? You know, as far as this veneration goes, and giving up their true identity. Like, what would you say to Africans? You know, in terms of the religion, whether Christianity or Islam. I understand, like, you cannot just wake up and be like, no, I'm shaking this identity off. I'm not that crazy. But our understanding of it, how it can, you know, like, even some people say, I can incorporate it into my African lifestyle. Oh, you know, me as an African, I want to just push my African identity. That's what I'm comfortable with.
You know, the sensibility, we human beings have our own sensibilities. The sensibility that birthed that religion always is there. But the fact is, even if you are different, you will always, when you try to imitate somebody, you are never ever gonna be the same as they've imitated it, because you don't have the same taste, you don't have the same sensibilities as well. So a part of you will be part of that religion, so you warps it a little bit. So when you have Islam or Christianity come into the African sensibilities about the world, you can see this twist into where African theology is mixing and melding with Islam. So you see all these African beliefs getting involved and all that stuff. It's not a case that you can tell somebody to stop. It's the fact that who you are will become a fusion of that. You will have a fusion of African beliefs and all that. That's why you see the crazy pastors going around mixing voodoo and Christianity, mixing Islam and Christianity, because your sensibility will be there. Now, should you reject your sensibility? No, of course not. Religion, as St. James said, is a personal thing at the end of the day, and as you've pointed out, it's a relationship between you and God. Nobody in between. And you're best off keeping it that way.
But now it's becoming like a brainwash thing where they are teaching a lot of these African youths just to memorize the Quran, right?
That's a shame.
When Africa needs skillful people.
Right, yeah.
You see?
Yeah, that is a shame that's happening as well. Obviously, like Abby probably will say, it's been sponsored from another part of the world. That's something I've come to realize, that another government or another sect in the world are doing that as well. But to me, I'm not a Muslim, but I don't think it's very attractive to me personally and all that kind of stuff.
You don't want 72 virgins?
Of course.
Can I respond?
That's ludicrous. That's
okay, hold on. We have Mohammed Fatah. Mohammed, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Sweden.
All right. Thank you for joining us, Mohammed. Mohammed, you're Muslim, I'm guessing?
Yes, I am.
All right, Mohammed, you know, what do you want to add on to, you know, what you're hearing here in this conversation?
For me, the first guy, he said, Arab is better than non-Arab in Islam.
No, he's saying that's what they said. That's what the people are saying. He didn't say that's what he believes.
What he believes in Islam, in the religion itself.
No, you know, Mohammed, you're a Muslim, right?
Yes,
so
I am.
What he was saying is the people believe this because, you know, like, you know, they said in Jannah, you'll be speaking Arabic, you know, there's be Hurul Hain, you know. So, like I was saying, I didn't hear about the black women and stuff or other women, but I'll let you, you know, answer him and you can answer that part too. Go ahead.
Hurul Ain is not a white or black. It's woman you desire that you will get.
Okay.
It's not black or white or Arab. That's you decide what Hurul Ain you get. It's not. It's your decision. It's not something you get or you get white or black or something like that.
Okay, go ahead.
But I want to question this brother. He said African religion, African belief. There's no one African belief. I don't understand why he's saying African.
Don't think too far about it. Every country has their own situation. So when we say Africa, you have to be, you know,
like the traditional.
The traditionals in every countries. You know, we're not speaking like it's one religion for across the continent.
So Mohammed, let me ask you quick, Mohammed. So
Okay.
in Jannah, like the Muslim women, what are they going to be? What are they receiving?
It depends. Some will get some will be with their husband.
No,
Some
but
will have.
the husband. No, remember, the husbands are gonna have 72 virgins. So
Seven.
the 72. So this woman is expired. Let's not forget that she's not in the equation. So, because she gotta get her own stuff,
Yes.
right?
She will get the man she desire too.
Oh,
What are you saying?
Huh?
She will get the man she desire too.
Well, wait, Mohammed, are you making this up?
I'm not.
I've never heard this one.
Yes.
Huh? Where'd you hear this?
When we even get married to each other, we don't say that until the death do us apart. We will say to each other until we see us in paradise. It's not like, oh, she died, now I'm in paradise. We're not
No,
together.
no,
Sometimes.
I understand, but what I'm saying is, because
Yes.
if you have 72 wives there, 72, I mean, these are, who are hiding, like it's your, your liking. I mean, your earthly wife, she doesn't stand a chance, man.
72 wife is the people who die for the religion. It's not
Oh
for
no,
everybody.
no. I know.
It's not for everybody.
No, but if you make it to Jannah, I know
Yes,
what
but
you're saying. If you make it to Jannah, yes, you get 72 wives. You're talking about if somebody, dies in jihad, right? In the way of jihad.
yeah,
Yes,
they
they
will
will.
get 72 wife.
That's what they say. But if you
Yes.
also enter, you direct, just regular Muslim,
No.
you
Then you will get Ruh al-Ain. The Ruh al-Ain is woman you desire. You say, oh, she must look like this. She must look like that. You
no,
will get
but
the woman
no,
you
no.
desire.
Are you saying you only gonna get one?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Come on. No.
Come
You
on,
not,
brother.
man. I don't know what. No, you don't get one. You get more than one.
No, you will get the one who get more than one is the one who died in jihad.
No, I think everyone gets 72.
No. If you die in jihad, then you become shaheed, then you will get 72 wives.
Yeah. Okay, hold on.
Yes.
People must realize that religion is an individual thing. It's how you live your life, and it must be separated with the state as well, and it must remain that way. Otherwise, you just have a society that's most of the time that's less progressive and just keeps becoming stagnant in a way, or it just intercedes too much into people's lives, and you start to become very intolerant as well. I think. I think it must remain to an individual standpoint as well. I think.
Yes, but if the whole country believes most of the country, if they believe Christianity or Islam, the standard will be Christianity or Islam. It doesn't matter if you don't believe it or believe it. We human beings are just like that. If something most of us believe, it becomes the standard.
Yeah, but when it becomes part of official administration of a nation, and you must be Muslim to be that, you must be Muslim to get to that. It creates this nepotism, all these kind of things. It creates this it makes the state not very functional in a way, and it creates some type of intolerance towards other minorities as well. And I mean, those minorities wouldn't be awarded the same type of rights as every other citizen, because every country has minorities, and how do you account for them if you mixed the religious law with official law and all that stuff. You know, you don't account for them. So I think we have to be careful on that one.
All right, let's allow Mike. Mike, thank you for coming in. Mike, what do you want to say?
Afridamus, what's up, man?
Nothing much. Mike, what do you want to add on to this topic as far as like Africans go with this? You know, my question is, why do Africans, you know, we have to give up our identities, our names to, you know, be a part of these religions? That's what my main question is. And then
Actually, I kind of want to give one piece of information like that you probably don't already know. With all due respect to my Muslims and my Muslims and my Christians, I mean, in my opinion, I think the biggest curse on the continent of Africa, where I don't know, let me not speak for the whole Africa, I'll say for my people, where I'm from, is those two religions. And I'll give you just one piece of information from what we know, from what I know about Africa. Okay. You know what they call masquerade, right?
Yeah.
You know, almost every tribe you go to in Africa, you notice they have something called masquerade.
Yes.
Do you know the symbol of that masquerade?
Yes, there's different ones.
No. Let me give you what the masquerade symbolizes, right?
You mean the masquerade? What it symbolizes?
Yeah, okay. in the Yoruba culture they call it the egun, right? If you go to the Benin Yoruba, they call it egun. So that masquerade, when you see it, people just don't understand what it means. They just think it's some funny stuff when people are drumming around it or giving an offering and they're doing some festival around it. What the masquerade represent? It represent the bloodline, the ancestors, all the way, like your bloodline, right? Your ancestors all the way to the beginning of the first person, first man. You understand? So it's a very powerful symbol, and each family, each bloodline must have their own masquerade, right?
Right.
And they those masquerade are created through rituals. So when they're doing those drummings, right, and they're doing those offering, they're doing a vibration where they're connecting to those spiritual ancestors, right? And they do a lot of communication. And those ancestors, what they do is they are parts and parcels of our existence while we are on earth, right? They do a lot of protections, a lot of way of protecting us and blessing us and things like that, right? Now, there are rules among that they say that it's a taboo or it's a curse for one person to be worshiping another person's ancestor, right? Another person's ego. So, like, let's say you have your own ego in your family, right? Your own masquerade in your family. You can't go to another family that's not connected to you bloodline wise and be worshiping their own masquerade, because their masquerade, whatever you give it, the blessing is going to return. It's not going to come to you. It's going to go to the owner of the masquerade, their own bloodline, and then your own ancestor will not only be angry at you, they can also be, instead of blessing you, can also be cursing you, right?
It's called the abomination
or taboo. So now, what do I mean by how we're cursed with the foreign religion? Like, if you look at the way we worship and drum around Jesus Christ and Muhammad and all these things, what do you think that means? Are we not worshiping someone else's ancestors?
You know what, Mike? I said the same thing in all these conversations, because when you look at the stories that have been told, right, it is not the stories of the Africans. You know, let's just be real. That's not what the story is, because there are stories that are attached with these religions, and it is of different people. But for Muhammad, I checked.
So let me land this final point. Like, what I was trying to say is, I made a point saying to us and our believers that it's a taboo for you to go and worship another person's masquerade, another person's ancestor. So now when we look at, when we bind to Jesus and Muhammad, and it's almost like we're buying to they're like a form of another masquerade, someone else's masquerade, right? And then when you giving them offerings and you drumming around them and praying to them, it's remember I mentioned that according to our African belief, your ancestors will be mad at you for doing that, for worshiping someone else's ancestor. So don't you think maybe our own ancestors are cursing us or angry at us for us,
Mike,
worshiping someone else's ancestor? And don't you think that that's probably one of the causes of our problem on the continent, why many people are so much in poverty, and maybe their own ancestors is angry at them? I mean, it's just I'm not telling anyone to believe what I'm saying, but I'm just saying.
Mike, I think you actually hit a point here. You know, that's what I was saying earlier. Kidola even said it, where there are some people who are Christians, right? When they have issues, because they say they believe in God, But when they have issues, they run to the Obas, right? That's who they run to. That means
And when
they
they
still
run, do
have.
you know what they come to do? Do you know what end up happening? Like usually when the Oba, the Babalaos or whatever do divination for them, or most often they will tell them, "Now listen, you have to go please your ancestors because this problem you have here, your ancestors can solve it." So oftentimes they please their ancestors and their problem goes away. And when their problem goes away, guess what? They run back to Jesus and Muhammad again, And then later on they come back again. So he
Yeah,
say a lot of
Jesus,
IQ Africans.
yeah,
So
can I
that's.
respond?
Yes, go ahead, Mohammed. And then we'll allow Triple Ajos and then Puntait Princess. Go ahead, Mohammed.
I think this brother has misconceptions about Islam. We don't pray to Muhammad. We don't pray to Arab. We don't pray. We pray to God. God don't have. The God is not related to the Arabs.
What you say Allah, right? You play to Allah.
Allah means God in
Okay,
Arabic.
no, I know.
Yes,
But Allah. Do you know who Allah is? Do you know Allah? Tell me who
Allah.
Allah.
Yes,
I'm not saying, his attributes. Who is Allah? I'm not saying
Allah.
like Allah's attributes, just who Allah is. That's who I'm
Allah
asking.
is the one who created all.
No, you're telling me Allah's attributes.
Yes.
Because Allah has a history, it's in the Quran, it's in different hadiths if you've read. Because Allah said, don't worship me until you know me, right? So I'm not talking about Allah's attributes. Who is Allah? Because Allah talked about who he is, and Allah has a history. So I'm asking you who Allah is.
Allah is what He revealed to us. We cannot say, oh, He's this and He's that. What He revealed to us, He is merciful. He's the Creator of all.
Okay.
Alfredamo, all Muslims have to turn to Mecca to pray to Allah. You know that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I'm gonna come to this. I will allow other people also to respond to this
Oh my
possibly.
God, I have
So
very little time. Can I go before, please? Because it's late for me. Can I quickly?
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I can wait too. It's okay. Let the brother go before me.
Oh, that's nice. Triple Ados, go ahead.
No, let her go ahead. I'll wait.
Okay. He's gonna wait. Puntait, go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, I just came in not long ago, but then I heard a lot of misconception. Yo, Afridamus, I wish you did your own research before you start talking about this topic. To be honest, because you should know that 72 women Hur al-Ain is only for the men who actually are shaheeds. It's not for every Muslim man. It is only for those who died mujahideen, right? So
what I'm saying, where did you see this? Because I can tell you, I can show you, show you different hadiths. I'm looking, I can tell you one. Wait, hold on. Narrated by Abu Umama, narrated. The messenger of God, admits, that in paradise, you will be married to 72 virgins. You would have 80,000 servants. This is,
wait. No, not the
you
servants.
Will,
Wait.
no, you will have 80.
I want
You
to
will
know
have.
where.
Hold on, I'm telling you the rewards of heaven.
Yeah.
The only discrepancies that some have is like some say 70, some say 73, some say 72. But
doesn't matter.
But every Muslim man, if you're Muslim and you enter paradise, you are promised 72 or 73
Okay, can you
wives.
please share with us that information? And I want to know which hadith that is, and that's what I want to know. Because for the fact is that 72 wives are promised to the mujahideens. Every other man who comes to Jannah, he has however women he had in this world, that will be his wives. And for the woman, somebody asked what the woman will get, right?
This is my first time hearing that. Like I have been in madrasa from the time I was a kid.
Yeah.
And
okay.
like
I can pull it
being
up
to
for you.
been
I
to
can pull it up for you.
different
No
mosques.
problem.
I have never heard this one.
Okay,
I'm
no
telling you.
problem. I can pull it out for you and I will definitely send it in the private chat. But here is the thing, right? In Jannah, man will get only for the wives that he has, right? And woman will get the husband that she had. If woman was not married and she died, she will choose any man she wants and she will get whatever man she wants. As women, we are not drawn to want to have more than one man. Women don't want to have 70. Me personally, I will not want to have 72
No,
men hanging
but
around me. So
you're
that's
in
that's
heaven.
that's for the women. Exactly.
But
I'm in
in
heaven
heaven,
and God knows.
you can't, it's in heaven. Is
Yeah.
heaven is not the same as, the world.
Well,
In heaven you're gonna have like rivers of wine, milk, like in
yeah,
the
and the
world.
wine. Can I say something about the wine? Because you said the wine is toxicated in Islam. The wine in Jannah is not toxicated. It is actually made from ginger and it's not toxicated. So that's why I
Wait, wait,
said
wait, wait,
you
wait,
could
wait, 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 wait.
yes, wine is not toxicated.
Wait, you're talking a little bit fast for me. Hold on, hold on, hold on. You
I know
just said
you should make your research before you
no,
say
wait,
it.
wait,
That's
wait, wait,
why.
wait. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a
Fine,
minute,
fine.
wait
I'm
a minute.
waiting. Okay.
I want you to clear this part. You said the wine in Jannah.
Yes.
Um, you said I'm claiming that it's intoxicated.
You said that you is toxicated. You say
No,
that you
no,
get very. You said your own words was you get patented. It's like extra hard than what we have here.
no.
But the fact that the wine in heaven is not toxicated at all. You don't get drunk.
According to the book.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah, you not
the
get drunk.
wine. Hold on,
Uh-huh.
the wine in heaven and wine on earth. Which one is better according to the book?
The one in heaven. Why is it
Okay,
better? Because
okay,
I tell
okay.
you why though. The one in
Okay.
heaven
So wait,
does not give
wait.
you hang
No,
up,
you're
hang up.
fine. You
I'm sorry.
answered my question.
Okay, the
So
one in heaven.
the wine. So you are
Yes.
sitting here. You're telling me this wine is made out of ginger. How do you know this?
No, no. Look, the wine is it has ginger and it has different misc and stuff like that. But the
No, but
wine itself,
how do
I
you
will tell
know
you.
this?
Let me because it is specifically described the wine in heaven. The wine in heaven is not toxicated. It will not give you a headache the day after. It will not make you not know who you are. It's not the same wine that we have here in this world today, which will make you throw up and in the morning you have a headache.
Well,
So it's not that wine.
okay.
Now,
Puntai, puntai,
everything is
puntai,
different in heaven, and you know that
puntai,
too. So
puntai, puntai.
please, yes, yes.
Okay, you are speaking like plenty of people drink wine and it doesn't give them this effect. Maybe you're speaking of hard liquor. You see what I'm saying? Hard liquor.
Yeah. If you have one
So
bottle of wine, you will
for
be a
me,
little.
because for me, right? I've asked many preachers. None of them know how the wine in heaven tastes like. They just say, imagine the wine in the world. The wine in heaven is so much more, alhamdulillah, so much more better.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
put
yeah. Everything in heaven is
so
different than what is in the
you
world.
saying Puntai.
Mm.
Okay,
Yes, brother.
Puntai, answer this one honestly.
Okay.
Do you just want your wine in heaven to have ginger in it?
To be honest, personally, I don't even like gingers. To be honest, so
Then
you
where did
do
you
not
come up
force
with
me.
ginger? How did you
It
come up
it
with ginger?
no, but it is. I mean, I can show it up the taste and God Allah is describing how it will taste and what kind of spices is in there, right? So it does say, but to be honest, I am actually a water person. I don't like any sweet or something like that. So I will not be probably drinking that wine to be
Okay,
specifically me. But
let me
nobody's
ask you
forcing
this.
you, nobody's
Let me
forcing
ask you this. Because what I
you.
was saying is, right?
Hmm.
Why should Africans give up our identity, our names to be part of foreign religions, right? Because this heaven, if you truly explain it to most Africans, logically without fear,
Hmm.
they would probably not be interested. They will
I
not
don't know
be
about that.
interested. from
You
my
don't want to
part
live
of
forever?
no, I'm talking not
Oh, by
forever,
the way, why do you say that we're
but
gonna
what
all
I'm
be
saying,
Arab,
hold on.
look like Arab? I don't understand. Nobody,
Oh,
unless
you
an
don't
Arab
think
person is 6 feet tall,
no,
right?
you don't
You
think
probably don't.
you don't think people, covering up their head, all that hijab stuff, the little hats. Do you think? I mean, I don't know about your part of Africa, but my part of Africa, that's not our tradition. That's not how we dress. That's not how we
Do you
do
think we're
things.
gonna wear hijab in Jannah too?
Huh?
Do you think we're gonna wear hijab in Jannah also?
Well, I mean, I'm guessing it's Arab culture, so yeah, I'm
That's
guessing.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Because
saying,
even the
brother.
language
Yeah.
there, the language, right?
Yes. Yes.
It's gonna
It's
be
Arab.
Arab.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what I'm saying?
But what if I
What?
want to speak my African
Yeah. Yeah.
language?
Listen.
And
Listen.
again,
Here's the thing.
one thing, sorry, let me
Oh my
say
God.
this also. I'll let you speak. What I wanted to say also is the African, right? For instance, the African, because like the other people, they have the right to create their own heaven, tell it to them. The African doesn't. It's all done in fear. So if you look at it, technically, it's like soft colonization because the Africans gotta, learn the Arabic language and see it as the most,
What does that?
prestigious language. But here on earth, people, especially from my part of Africa, West Africa, they can barely, coexist with and live amongst the Arabs. So how do you expect
Okay.
to live with them in the afterlife if you
Okay.
can't even, if the test is here, it's not
Okay. Let me.
working.
Okay, fine, fine, fine. Here is the thing, right? You saying Arabs, how will you live with Arabs? Arabs make out of maybe 20% of the population of Muslims. So Arabs will be minority in heaven also. I'm just gonna point that out
No, no,
for
no, no,
you.
no, no. Arabs
They
would
will.
be majority.
They
No,
are, brother.
no.
Listen,
Look,
wallahi,
they will
listen. Oh my
look.
God, can I finish my point though? Because I need to go. I just want to come on, brother. Listen though. You know for a fact the Arabs make the minority in Islam right now, today as we live, and we have a Christian Arabs, and we have a Jewish Arabs, and we have all kind of Arabs. So they are making the minority today, and they will be making minority in heaven. That's for
Oh,
100%.
I highly
However,
doubt that. Some
okay, okay,
Arabs
no
have
problem.
they've already entered heaven before the judgment day have happened. Remember, the prophet already pardoned some. They are in
Nobody's
heaven.
entering heaven until the judgment day. Do you know that? Only the mujahideen enter
So
as a birds. You know that,
really,
right?
so did you
Nobody
hear?
enters the heaven before
But now,
judgment.
but you're
Only
changing it.
after the judgment day, and you cross that
But
sirat, and then you
but
enter
but
Jannah. Not
but
before that.
what about some of the ones? Because remember, the prophet heard Bilal's footsteps in heaven.
Steps. Yes, he
So
heard
so
his
wait,
footsteps.
the other,
It's
but you see,
indication. It's
but
indication that he will
yeah.
be in Jannah. But people
Oh,
who died will
but
not go to Jannah
but
until that. Do you know the Sirat? Do you know the
uh-huh,
Sirat?
uh-huh.
Yes.
Siratul
That
Mustaqim. Yeah.
bridge, Sirat,
Uh-huh.
that bridge will be crossed, and then you go to Jannah after you get your book in your hand. Before that,
But
everybody else will be in the grave. Nobody's in heaven.
okay.
But the
So
mujahideens who are inside in a bird. That's all. For real, for
mhm,
real. But
mhm,
I wanted to say, I wanted to just come in and point some stuff out here. And
mhm.
that I wish you make your research before, because you actually made some errors that I wanted to correct. You understand? So
Like
here
what?
we go.
Well, you've
Men
tried with
will
the
get
72. Wait, with the
exactly.
72,
The
you are
72
absolutely
is
no, no,
only
no,
for
no.
mujahideen.
No, I'm telling you, you are wrong. Trust me,
Okay.
you are
Okay.
wrong
We
on
have
this
a lot
one.
of
Yeah.
Muslims in the
You
comment
are
section.
you
Please
I,
no.
I
write.
I have questions to ask you.
Wait,
Don't go
wait,
yet.
Hold on,
wait,
hold
wait.
on.
I am
I
going
want
to
to
go. But
understand.
listen, wait. We have a lot of
Puntai,
Muslims in the
Puntai, don't
comment
leave.
section.
Puntai, hold
Let
on.
write
Puntai,
one
don't
if
leave
I'm
yet.
right, two if he's right. Please, let's
Okay,
write.
Puntai,
Let
hold
the
on.
Muslims
I'll go,
actually.
talk to Two Niger. I'm gonna go
Sure,
pull
sure,
this
sure.
up
I'm
right
gonna go
now.
quickly, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Two Niger.
So I just wanted to understand because I asked a question about the 72 this in wives. Yeah, I don't want to go with the virgin aspect.
But that's what it is, too, Niger.
Okay.
Don't
So,
try to cheat people out of what has been promised.
Okay, fair point.
Go ahead.
Fair point. Okay, so if that is the case, are these people not real people or just created virgins?
They are created in heaven. They are not humans. They are never been in this world. They are creation that are created in heaven. These women are created. They're only in heaven. They are not human. They are not me. So woman is different than Hur al-Ain. Hur al-Ain is creation. They're not
don't
angels.
you say? Hold on, Puntai.
Yes.
You see how you contradicted yourself?
Why?
Because because you touched on certain aspects, but you left some things out. Yes, you said these women they are created there according to the book, right? So this is why it is the reward for men to have 72 of them or 73. Why would any man want to stay with their wife on earth when these four hands are over there? Oh
not
no!
Every man gets this. This is only a reward for
this
the
must be a new.
brother.
This must be new
Please
teaching.
Research. Please make your. This is only a reward for the mujahideen.
Okay, talk to Tunaja. I'm pulling it up. Hold on. Hold on.
So
I'm pulling it up.
let's say
every man, but these are not human women. Okay. Just
okay. Let me pull
they're
it
not
up.
human women. So, but the normal people when they go there, they marry the whoever they choose. That they can choose whoever they like.
No.
If you had a wife in this world, that will be your wife in next world. And
what if your wife didn't go to heaven?
Any wife, listen, if you never had a wife, you will choose anybody and you will get any wife you want to in your imagination. That's what you're gonna get. But you are not getting Hur al-Ain. That's
Punta, I don't know where you're getting this from, but
okay,
you want to tell me that, huh?
I'm gonna give it to you where I got this from.
Hold on, hold on. Go ahead, Tuna.
So so the women, so the women are they allowed to be mujahideen too? Like if they go to heaven, can they get 72 men or something like that? Is that possible for women or just only for the men?
Ask you asking me or Punta?
No, I'm asking Punta person. I want to understand how it works.
I can answer you. As I said before, men can have 1,000 women, okay? Men can have concubines, women, without any doubt, Shadow. They will want more. You give them more, they will want more. That is a man's nature. That's the nature of a man, having many, many, many wives as he can. Most men, okay? Not all, but most men. Most women do not want to be underneath 20, 70, 80 men. Most women, we don't want to have more men. This is our nature. We want to have a one man. I would not like to have 50 or 70 men hanging after me every day. No. So this is our nature. So God knows the nature of a woman and the nature of a man. What man desire,
okay,
what
so
desire.
No, I just don't understand whether the women reserve the right.
Tunaja, wait. Hold on, Tunaja. Here, let me show you guys this real quick, and then we enter it. Let me read this out. What is the concept of 72 hur in Islam? The concept of 72 hurs is mentioned in Hadith, the sayings of Prophet Muhammad. According to Hadith, the messenger of God said, everyone that God admits into the paradise, Jannah, will be married to 72 hurus, meaning wives, who are beautiful and virgins with whom they can have eternal physical satisfaction.
Okay.
So it's right there.
Okay, fine.
Who says they're not human beings?
What do you listen? I want to know. I want to know, bro. Come on. You know.
Okay,
I want to know.
Okay. So
from where is this? Anybody can write in Wikipedia.
But Puntai, you and I both know, right? Right now, if we, like, let's say we start going into the different hadiths, we can go be here all night long. I'm not trying to do a lot of hours again, But we can look at what Buhari said.
Wow,
We can
80,000 servants.
Wow. Okay, to see, Tunaja just repeated it. He repeated what I said. Al-Tirmidhi, all these people talked about this, you know. So we can look at tons of hadith that's talking about this. I'm not just
I'm
talking,
gonna just
of
check and
course.
I will find
Yeah,
my
look it up,
yeah, yeah.
look it
Go
up.
ahead.
Like you can even, if you want to be authentic, go on the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the website, and you will see this for yourself. Like
Well, you can see how that is very attractive though, because that is some kind of massive problem. Look at that 80,000 servants and 72 horrors. Oh, that's a lot, man. In paradise, in Christianity, they just say you are just enjoy yourself, live happily ever after. This is concrete promise. That is quite a lot of stuff. You wonder why Islam is growing fast. This is very serious.
so Tunaya, in your opinion, do you think, because I was saying all this, right? I said, where does the African, do you think this is attracting the African? Because they said 72 wives, 80,000 servants, which Puntai sounded surprised that I said that, but
that is big. Now,
it's
Jesus
written.
Christ is just saying that he died for your sins. This one, they are telling you 72 wives and thousands upon thousands of servants. That is some massive, like, kingly living, man.
Anybody? Wait, I have to really go. But anybody, I will send them the Sahih al-Bukhari. I will send the passages to you, my brother. But however, the fact is, I want to go. It's very late for me.
If you, I'm willing to do Bukhari, Al-Qurtubi, any of them.
Yeah.
If you name it, I would pull up Al-Bukhari, Al-Qurtubi,
Yeah,
all
please,
of them.
please
All
pull
of
me
them.
up al-Bukhari and it has to say it's Bukhari and it has to say where it comes from,
Tonight,
because you know what? There is also
Puntai, you're unfair today.
I'm not.
You're unfair. You see, Puntai, usually,
I'm not
when you bring your evidence, when you
Yes.
bring your evidence, right? And we just like, okay, yeah, we take it, and you don't go like, oh, who wrote this, blah blah. But it's right in front of people. People can look at this. See, Tunaja looked it up too. He can see the 80,000 servant that you denied that existed, but Tunaja saw it too, and he's never been Muslim.
It's what they put online, except what they put online is wrong. But
no, it's not wrong.
All is right though. You have to be careful what you're reading online. We have books that we follow that is recommended, and we have hadith that da'if and that is sahih.
Can we ask the people on the panel then, on the chat that are Muslims,
we
whether
can
it is
there's
true?
a lot of Muslims on the chat. We can ask them if they think I'm right. They can write one. If they think
if there anybody here that thinks that you are right, they don't know Islam. They don't read. They don't know. Like they have no idea. Like I know sometimes I'm speaking about lot of things, but trust me, I know my Quran, I know my hadiths. I'm not just talking.
I will, even if I cannot now, I will comment in this video section and I will put my proof there. And I want you to put me this hadith or whatever you're reading, who narrated, and that's, your fact.
There is several. So I can even,
But anyways, I have to let you go. My brother, it's very late. I wish it would be a little bit earlier tonight, but also my husband is home, so I cannot be too long here. Sorry.
Okay. All right, thank you. Hey, thank you for coming. Once again, no problem.
You're welcome.
Tomorrow, I'll make sure I do an early show for your time before the weekend ends, so we can do a part 2 of this.
No problem. Have a nice evening, guys.
You too.
Good night.
You too.
So Tunaya, my question here, what I was asking, I know today you're gonna say when you said you probably like what got into Afridamus, but my question is, I'm just saying, okay, whether Christianity or Islam, they always say for the African, you got to change your name. Like it seems like, the African culture has to be criminalized. So I'm saying, like, what is that all about? You look at, we have the, pretty much West Africa is turning into hotbed of jihadists. They're teaching all these little boys how to memorize the Quran. They're not about to build computers. They're not about to build cars. What do you think they're going to be doing? You see?
You see, the thing about these two religions, especially Islam, they come across as benign, but they are very, very corrosive to whatever culture they get in contact with. Even till this very day, they are still destroying idols like the Baghdad statues. They were still destroying it. Even till this very day, how many a decade ago or so, the Taliban was destroying Buddha statues in Afghanistan. They destroy everything they meet and supplant it with theirs. And when people pretend as if this doesn't have a political dimension, when they tell you to change your name and read in their own language and face their country to pray to them, it's like you are missing the point. These things have political dimensions to them, and it's costing Africa dead. As a matter of fact, it's done more damage to Africa than any other part of the world. So from Mansa Musa to the Fulanis, to the Hausas, it's just decimated and divided us to no end. It had some uses from the point of view of having people, operate under a common religion. So that is its real strength, because most people were not worshiping under the same religion in Africa before, but now it's almost divided in half Muslim, half Christian. Question is, where do you separate the religion from the political power that it carries? Europeans know how to do it. They were Christians, but they didn't give their power to Jews or hand their power to Jerusalem or in anything like that. They took the power to themselves. That's why they made their Jesus blue eye Nordic looking person. So maybe that's the trick we need to learn. Because our people right now, we're just reading Quran and reading in their language, Arabic language, trying to, see the Arabs as like divine and all that. In Christianity, they actually saw the Jews as the enemies. That you killed Jesus, so you're our enemy. But with Islam, you see them as superior, and that's something we have to be aware of.
And because I made the connection. You've read what I just said and what I was saying about, to enter paradise, the language there is Arabic. Okay. They have to have this hurul ain, these light-skinned women. There's no black woman there. But some guy said you can create your own woman. But I'm saying things here that I have specifically asked. Look, Tunaja, I used to get in trouble. Tunaja, I used to get in trouble so much because they said, boy, you ask too much question. Imagine how much trouble I used to get into. You see? So these are questions I have already asked, and answers have been given to me from different, preachers and things I have read on my own. So for me, it's not that I'm here trying to tell people you are wrong, not wrong. I'm speaking from the African point of view, because I don't walk around, you don't see white Europeans or Arab people speaking our African languages or adapting our culture. In fact, most of these religions, they just criminalize it. You see, they just criminalize. So that creates low self-esteem in the Africans, which even explains this skin bleaching. Because if you're telling a group of people, trying to promote the lighter ones, I mean, those who are brainwashed, eventually you're gonna see them, take chemical to try to look like the people that are elevated. Most Africans, when you ask them about the image of the devil is darker in color to them.
They will say it's a black man.
Black man. When you ask about God, it's a white man.
It's a white man.
So that that's what I'm trying to point out here. Some of these people saying, oh, these guys are bashing, Islam. This is what I talk about constantly. How many times do people sit around and, openly bash African culture? And these are African people.
Yeah.
So for African culture, is free for all. It's free for all. You're not even allowed to defend it. But the moment you talk about Christianity or Islam, Oh no, Afridamus, don't you dare talk about that. Don't you dare. Oh, but African, spirituality, African culture can be picked
Christianity
on.
is easier to criticize, and as a matter of fact, many Christians may even listen because their source of Christianity is also winning in terms of the West. The West doesn't even care too much about Christianity, but while in the case of Islam, they are very, very, very resistant to criticism. They don't like it, and they are still killing people for stepping, saying things the wrong way about their religion. To this very day, a young girl in Nigeria was killed this year and burnt because of Islam. So
I was
it tells you that the way they perceive their religion is still like very,
Tunaya,
very
Tunaya,
passionate.
we just
you took the word out of my mouth, man. For Christians, like I'm Christian, where I was born Christians, we don't have a problem. Like we let anybody criticize it. We even trying to make sense of it. But when it comes to the Muslim, they will defend it to the teeth. That's why sometimes like it's kind of difficult to have a conversation with Muslim because they will defend it no matter what. They don't even they don't even try to be a critic. Just be a
they, will-
critic for a day.
they will even kill you for it.
Right. Just be a critic for a day.
They will go to a non-Muslim country and kill anyone that even criticizes Islam. Like I'm like, they will go to France and kill somebody for speaking against Islam. Or like Tunaya, do you think the one of the division between northern Nigeria and southern Nigeria has to do with the fact that in the north, like of course their system is completely Islamic and all Sharia, and they look at the southerners as just the infidel. And election time, all their politicians have to tell the people is that, hey, don't vote for the southern guy because he's an infidel. Don't vote
They're
for an infidel.
kafirs.
Religion is the only weapon we have. This religion is what they are using to divide the people. Without religion, the people will realize, especially the Hausas will realize that, you know what, these Fulanis are just parasites using us, and we are not. They are minority. Fulani is minority. Hausa is the largest group in Nigeria, yet they've not produced presidents. So they will realize that without religion.
And to Niger, don't you think what you just said there? The reason why is that way. Think about large number, right? But this large number turned against themselves because of what they were taught to believe.
Do you guys think the primary reason why those African men easily just converted was because of the sex, the whole virgin thing, the women,
The 72
72 virgin?
virgins.
Yeah,
Yeah,
black men love sex
it's
so
very
much.
seductive. It's very seductive, and the systems that they operated offered a level of uniformity where you bring people together. And to be fair, Islam had a lot of good things compared to what was existing then. They had some order and all the rest to offer, not to mention a level of strength. So when they brought that in, you can see how people got caught up in it. It's like McDonald's now. Everybody doesn't like, there are things you don't like about McDonald's, but you like the convenience. And Islam had that. So it won a lot of ground. But the question for me is it's not its usefulness. It's like English. English had use for us. Even till today, we are still using it because it's useful. It's a tool. But sooner or later, you have to separate from that tool to this thing from what it takes, the power it takes from you. Yeah,
you can
improvise.
You mean improvise and use it to your advantage.
Exactly. You have to turn it to your own advantage. Like the way Europeans did it very, very well, and that's something one can learn from. Europeans, the religion didn't do them any harm.
But you see, if Africans use this religion to empower themselves and have advantage, it would be hard to question these things. But you're sending all these kids to go memorize the Quran while the Asian kids are building things. Those kids are going to grow up and come and control those other African kids because all they go by the Quran religion saying their reward is in the afterlife.
It was so easy for Boko Haram to recruit them.
Yes, Boko Haram. When you die in the line of Boko Haram, that's what you get. 72 virgins. 72
virgin.
So So you've heard even Puntait say, like when they say the people who get rewarded. So that's what she's talking about.
I listen to Punta. I see some things just have to use common sense. Whatever doesn't make sense in this earth, it obviously won't make sense in heaven. For example, when you say this man will be given 72, God will give them 72 virgins. So it's man. Okay, how many women will be comfortable sharing 71 women with one guy, especially an Arab guy. I mean, how big is his dick there? I mean, 71 women were willing to share that one man with, one woman will be able to, we willing to share 71 women with one man. And God is so, God is just so caring about men. He doesn't care about these women that, okay, maybe these women will not be okay with it, that, okay, I'm giving all of them to one guy. I mean, it's God. I mean, it's very obvious that there's a group of men that got in the room and wrote that Quran.
Yeah.
Because there's no way, if a woman was in a room with them.
That wrote the Quran.
Hey, look at what this, look at what this DJ wrote. What do you guys, he said, I wish I was the descendant, grandson of Usman Damfodio, Sunjata Keita, the Mahdi of Sudan, Said Mohammed. Well, call in and explain to us. I think tonight he's another guy saying, you are mad because you're conquered.
Yeah, he likes to say that. He forget that Osman Danfodio was they use rock to stop him at this middle belt in Nigeria. That's I actually met somebody from that town where they stopped Osman Danfodio, and the guy was grinning when he said, "Yeah, we threw rock on top of them from a hill." And I was like, "Look at how you are smiling. These people are still they are still fighting it today because of that thing. They still hold a grudge against this group."
Damfodio was the original Boko Haram leader.
I don't know that.
Back in 1799, he said he had a dream from the Prophet Muhammad for him to wage war. I think Damfodio himself, he's a Fulani, or maybe he has Fulani influence. No, the Fulanis helped him. He's a Yoruba.
I think the thing about Osman Danfodio is that Osman Danfodio is Fulani.
I think he's Yoruba.
don't pick up Mike now. Don't pick up Mike.
I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. We all know it was Sri Lanka. You know he was Sri Lanka, right? Sri was it Sri Lanka?
The guy, I think must have been a nice guy. I think he probably thought what he was doing was very good.
Nice guy.
Really? Osman Danfodio must have thought he was like a very, very like virtuous person.
Right.
I think they were just carrying the agenda of the Ottoman Empire to spread Islam all over the world. All over. You have to understand. During that time, it was the Ottoman Empire. They were really the most powerful empire in the world at that time. Before the British Empire came about and put that to an end. So their goal was just to push Islam. And then. In Africa, it was more like, I think it was the time they were coming into Africa that they injected the whole 72 virgin thing because they had to study the Africans.
You think so?
Yeah, I believe so. It was for the Africans. See, these books, the Quran, the Bible was all for conquest. The religion was for conquest. It wasn't really about God, man. It was all for conquest. They have to use ideologies and violence.
From that
Christianity at one point were not
72 virgins and 80,000 servants.
They had to.
People always miss 80,000 servants out. 80,000 servants.
That's in heaven.
They know during that. You have to think about it too. Like, during that time, what people were doing, everybody was trying to enslave another person or trying to get more wives. Men were more interested in having servants and having wives. So when you promise them that in an afterlife, of course, it's a good incentive.
Look,
to have them to convert.
I think heaven should be updated again. Because that 72 virgin thing is kind of,
And once you convert to Islam, you're paying your taxes to the Ottoman Empire.
Well,
now the same with the Rome. The same with the Rome.
Well, you see the pilgrimage, how much money Saudi receives.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, and they literally have people worshiping. That's the Mecca itself. You have to know where it is to pray 5 times a day. So the kind of loyalty you owe, and then you have to read in the language of the Arabs. So you can, even in America, you can see the effect that the English people have on the Americans when the English will speak their aristocratic English. Not to mention when it comes from religion, where they tell you to read in that language. The influence the Arabs have over the people that practice Islam. They will pretend as if it's not there. It's there. It's massive. And even in Pakistan, when people from Arab comes and does something in Pakistan, they rate them like they are from heaven.
Well, Tunaja, what's funny, Tunaja? Like, we all see these things, right? But nothing makes me laugh harder than when I see Africans. You notice the ones that they would come and say they are defending the Arabs, but then turn around and say Islam is not the Arabs' religion. So then okay, it's from the Arabs' land, and the language in heaven is going to be Arabic, but it's not Arab people's language.
And
Make
you
that.
literally face it 5 times a day. Literally, you have to face that place to pray
You have to
every
face
day.
Mecca 5 times a day and pray to Allah in Mecca.
How direct can you be? How direct can you be? Be so direct, like you have to pray and use their language and everything is just linked like crazy. And anything to do with your own culture or names, everything you have to try to erase it as much as possible. And the thing, what makes it very problematic in the context of Africa and in the case of Nigeria, I think I had this conversation with Mike. They are practicing like almost uniformly polygamy, and their birth rate is higher than what Christians have right now. So in other words, many countries that have high population of Muslims in Africa versus Christians, the demographics is shifting. And this is something that the Christians busy cutting the West are not paying attention to.
Afrodamus, is it an excuse that Ponti gave about Islam is not for the Arabs and all that? Christians give the same excuses now.
Right.
The Christian will tell you that Jesus Christ was black, just to come.
Oh yeah, that's like I have been seeing things like that. It's like, okay, like first you came, you gave Jesus as blonde hair, blue eyes, so now some Africans are putting a pushback. Now you're like, what? Since some of these people wanted Jesus to look black, we'll just tell them Jesus is black. I remember the first guy's place I went to. He had Jesus, black Jesus with the dreads. I thought it was my picture there. You guys know how I grow my beard. I was like, did you get somebody to draw my picture? He started laughing. I said, finally, he's like, yeah, I'm about the black Jesus. So I'm like, okay. So, dude, you were with white Jesus all this time. So you just had your wake up call. Like you just have your wake up call. And I mean, my thing is, like, let's just call it what it is. Let's not pretend. I mean, trying to tell people that you're bashing or not. No, we're learning here. That's why we're here. I'm not correct about everything I say. I'm not here to convince anybody, but I gotta lay it out it is.
I think what people need to do is go and study the origin of these things, right? Then the moment you begin to go back, take your step back and know how it all began. We all know that the concept of the God and the devil being on one side and the other side started by Ghanaian Zoroaster during the Persian Empire, right? He came up with that concept, And later on, that's how the Christianity came about later on, where they had, this devil here and God is on this side. And then after that, a group of people, they're called the Council of Nicaea. No,
Nicaea.
Yeah. They came out, they decided to create a religion, And these people, what they were looking were, at that time, they were looking at Africa and saw how Africans were doing things, spirituality and things like that, right? And the whole idea was to copy from the African. They saw the Egypt, they saw the, So the Greeks obviously saw the Africans and they went and learned from the African, learned about the pantheons, spirituality and everything. They brought it to Greece. And Greece became the envy of the whole Europe and the Sahel, the Middle East and everything. And everybody started finding a way to create their own form of spirituality, So the Council of Nicaea decided to create Christianity, create stories, fictional gods and everything, form it. And the Romans trying to use Christianity to conquer the planet, through indoctrination and things like that. And then later on, Islam came after Christianity, Someone say he lied to them. Say he went into the forest and God appeared to him and gave him all these messages. And, and then later on, you got this guy named Joseph Smith.
Joseph Smith.
The Mormons.
The Mormons. Yeah.
And people. Humans. The way humanity works, the way God designed humanity is you have leaders and you have followers. The only few percentage of human beings that are born leaders, there are people that by nature they are designed to be leaders, and then the rest of people, maybe by 80-something%, are just natural followers. They just need someone to tell them what to do. So you can easily just come up with an ideology, and they will rally around you and follow you. If they see an interest, just all you have to do is show them an interest around
I
it.
have the Book of Mormon too. That I like to research about all these different religions. But fellas, before I leave, Tunaja, you being a Pan-African, I'm glad you called in. Do you think with this type of thinking, do you think this would threaten the Pan-African agenda? Where you see Africa going, especially in the West.
Personally, if I look at it that if anybody wants the betterment of the continent, then the religions that they practice cannot be a hindrance. If it is a hindrance, then you tweak it so that it favors you. And there are formulas out there. The Europeans did it. You can have a black Jesus because you cannot have a white Jesus and you will want to kind of break away from the control of white people. Because in other words, you still worship them every day. And how are you supposed to compete with them? Subliminally, you will be under them, and if you try to break away from them, it could lead to a psychotic break. The human being, you can't operate to break your mind. You have to take your power back and make your whatever God you want to worship, if it's Allah, if it's Jesus, you make them black, or you depart from them and return to your ancestors religion. In terms of Islam, everywhere I turn, Christianity has done its own damage already. But if you look at with the way they practice Islam in Africa, it really did Africa a lot of damage. From Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa, that guy, Mansa Musa had the power. He had the power.
He gave it away
over the entire North Africa and take control of it. He had the money. He could have raised an army, hold North Africa, only him. But
what do you think stopped him? What stopped him?
Because he was, I don't know, he was worshiping Mecca, isn't he? He was going on pilgrimage, spending all our gold along the way, wasted it all, and then invited the wrong attention into the continent.
And don't forget how many slaves he took there. And don't forget, those same Arabs, they still enslave Africans. They say they are Muslims, but they still enslave Africans.
What that guy did there tells you the damage most Islam does to people. Where when you believe it, you completely lose your sense, and you carry all that wealth and flaunt it all over the world and march to Mecca and march back. And if you look at what happened after then, that was the fall of Africa. They just invited all the wrong attention. The fall of Mali was not very far from that time when he did what he did, and then the Songhai Empire. Enslavement. That is the damage Islam did.
Tunaja, it's funny that you brought Mansa Musa up. I was just talking to someone, the same thing he said to me. Mansa Musa was a big disgrace and hindrance. And I pretended to be mad. I said, how are you going to say that about Mansa Musa? He said, Afridamus, let me tell you this. He said, this man, he said today how Africans are taking all the money to Mecca for pilgrimage. He said, this man took gold, went and gave it away for free.
And maybe they offered it to only 2 virgins when they got to Mecca. They couldn't resist.
2 virgin and 80,000 servants. All those things is enough to make him forget that he's.
African men will give up anything for sex. African men. Sunaja.
But he had it all, though. He had it all.
Come on, you didn't have Arab women in Africa now. So when they got there, this is a new brand. Different.
Hold on, we have Ican Fire. Ican, where you calling from?
Wagwan, my people them.
Nothing I go on. Where you call from, man?
So we're there in the west.
That's right. Tunaja, you're smiling. You didn't know that I know some Patois, Tunaja?
I didn't know. I wasn't sure whether you were speaking it seriously.
It can fire. Are you listening to the conversation?
Hey, I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone.
Yeah. What do you want to add about this? Like Africans, they having to give up. We got to give up our identity to be a part of these religions. I'm not bashing anyone's religion, but I'm just saying, like, what is that all about?
Yeah, Afrodamus. So I've always been trying to inspire my African brothers to look into this thing. You feel me?
Yeah.
Listen, these people are out of their eyes. They see us as infidels.
As less than two.
They see us as infidels,
Mm-hmm.
and they trick in the ones they trick into Islam. They don't they those ones, they don't actually know what's going on. They don't know that the Arab still see him as a
Look,
infidel.
do you
Hold on.
think they are in denial, or they really, because okay, if they really believe that we're seen as the same, I mean, come on now, how come they're not
They
running
feel
over to the Arabs, like they're not running over to go live over there?
they feel trapped by peer pressure. You understand?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They feel trapped by peer pressure.
Right.
Um, so it's the reason why Islam grew in Africa in the first place, because of the intimidation.
Right.
You feel me?
But a
It,
lot
it,
of them
it
are claiming it came peacefully. If you gotta threaten people and beat them up or kill them, I don't know about that. Go ask Damfodio's victims.
yeah,
They'll
but
tell you.
it's also about pussy. So that
It's,
could be peaceful. So it's
it's
like, oh, this girl saying that she like me, but she says she not gonna be with me if I don't convert to
change.
Islam.
Right.
And
Yeah, that
my
does
nigga,
happen.
yeah, and my nigga got persuaded.
That does
See me?
happen.
So it would look like peaceful, but I see that as intimidation. You feel me? Because the woman is yours.
The woman
I,
becomes their god.
no, the woman become owned by Islam, not by you no more. So
Right.
that's why she convert him, and
Yeah, so
they
he
do.
worships the woman because he is giving up who he is, because of that woman. So the woman becomes his god. You know what I'm saying? Can you hear me? Oh, I think he's in the matrix. But
I think his signal
uh
is messed up.
yeah, it's
There's
messed up. But let's
somebody
say
is
our
saying
last
something.
our last words, and what the peaceful solution would be, so that some of our this, very much Arabized or Christianized, Africans can understand, where we're coming from. So to Niger, go for it, then Mike, then he can. You guys
I,
go.
I say Africanize all religions. If it is Islam, Christianity, Africanize them. Because if you don't want to own them, then jettison them. You can't worship a foreign god and expect to be sovereign. No group does that. If you don't, if Europeans had to Europeanize Christianity to be able to practice it, if we don't want to Africanize these religions, then we have to jettison them. It's just that simple, period. And if you feel passionately about these religions and you don't like people criticizing you about it, then you seriously need to ask yourself whether it's about religion or whether it's about inferiority complex, where you feel like you have to be linked to these groups that are not your forefathers. As a matter of fact, we in sub-Saharan Africa were here when most of them were created. We were here before them.
Yeah, I know.
So we can't. How did we now become like we have to follow them? You, like I said, it's very simple. Let me put it in a kind of a catchphrase: Africanize your religions or get rid of them. Simple. Thank you.
Thank you, to Niger. Thank you. Well said. Mike, go for it.
You see, the solution I'm proposing, we expose the reason why, like when you go to church or when you're Christian, you go to church, or when you're Muslim, you go to mosque. Why they will tell you there that, hey, don't look into any other knowledge except any other knowledge outside of the Quran or outside of the Bible. They will tell you not to look, you know.
Yes, they do tell you that in Islam, you're not allowed to read the Bible or other books. This is true.
Exactly. So this solution is if you educate everybody about how this whole thing began, the totality of how it all started and where we are and the logic, if it makes sense or not, and you educate people about what they were, how Africans were, what their own true spirituality was all about. Like example I gave you earlier, how the Africans believe they worship their ancestors and they use it through their eguns, their masquerade and things like that. And knowing that according to their own African belief, their own ancestor instruction is that if they worship another person's ancestor, their own ancestor will be angry at them and may be working against them spiritually. So maybe many Africans will know that maybe the reason why they all going through their bullshit, their own hell right now, is because maybe their own ancestor is angry at them for worshiping someone else's ancestor, abandoning their own ancestors and worshiping someone else's ancestor. If people can be educated about all these things, and then they can be able to use their own mind to reason for themselves, like, okay, whoa, wow, I got a fool.
Hey,
well, many are flip flopping. Mike, hold on.
Can you hear me?
Is this Yasmin? No, okay, hold on. Let me read. Ike, hold on. Let me read this. Yasmin said it's sad for West African to act like saint when they saying West Africans acting like saint. When they sold their people, didn't care and talk about us Muslim. Look at yourself in the mirror before you point dusty finger at us. Okay, you don't want to.
Well, we're not saying we're perfect.
Yes, but what he's saying, the Muslims also they were in the slave trade. So this guy needs to understand this.
But the Muslims was the biggest sellers.
They were in the slave trade. So what is he talking about? So this person is completely confused. But that's not what the topic is. If you want, I can bring, the Muslim slave trade too, selling Africans. There's a lot of blacks they took to the Arab world. The reason why you don't see many blacks like in the Americas, because they used to castrate the Africans. Did you know this?
That's why you don't see them in Arabia.
They used to do what they call eunuchs. Read about that, where they would take these Africans and just surgically remove, their genitals and put like a small hole where they can just urinate. So literally they are just dysfunctional. They are humans, but no longer useful. So they would use these Africans to protect their harems. This is harems of these Muslim sheikhs. They would have like tons of women, and they would put the African soldiers that they castrated, as eunuchs, or to watch the harems for them, because they know, they cannot do anything sexually for these women. Look into this. I'm telling you, there's a lot you learn about history. Africans don't like to, learn about painful truths. When you learn, it doesn't mean you're going to look down on yourself, but you're just arming yourself with world history understanding. If you don't know where you're coming from, you won't know where you're going. I'm telling you. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
So even before the transatlantic slave trade, I think even before the slave trade, it was the introduction of Islam that began to create chaos on the continent in the first place. And that chaos is what made it so easy for all the other things that happened, later on, like the old slave trade and everything, because there was so much chaos going on. Because when Islam came, it became just confusion, jihad, and violence.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, Dija, you're saying, Afridamus, I wish you would make the distinction. No, I'm not saying it is African Muslims that did this to those slaves. Listen to what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I said the Arabs did that to those people, not the Africans. The Africans did not castrate other Africans, as far as I know. And, I'm not aware of that. The people I'm talking about, this is in the Arab world.
Hell, even, when they had the Ottoman Empire in Egypt, they used to do that. They will bring the African slaves and castrate them. You see? So, even today, you go to Mauritania, some parts, Mauritania, they have the slaves there and they castrate these people. So if this book is supposed to make them good people and it's not stopping them from doing these things, you have to start rethinking who you associate yourself to spiritually. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to say this group of people are bad or this group of people are not, but I'm speaking about what is out here in front of us. Some of you just look at things, in face value. You don't like to, dive in. So when someone does, it sounds foreign, as if this person is telling you something that, is out of space, but it's right in front of you. You just got to wake up and see what is being played out right in front of you. It's right in front of you. But you're too emotional. You don't want to see it. I understand. When I hit on these things, I get it why people get upset. I get that. Because they don't want to hear it. They want to pretend it's not there. Look at how we even have people we gotta argue about, what is in heaven. A place that nobody died and came back. But yet there are people telling you about this place. But when you ask questions, they're like, oh, you don't believe it? It's like intimidating you. Okay, all right, partner. Like, okay, is God a gangster now? So you're telling me I want to give you 72 virgins. I want to give you, free alcohol, river milk, all this. And I'm like, all right, I'm good. But you're going to punish me for not being a part of this party. Make that make sense. Seriously, this is what some of these people want to tell you. And they don't even realize they are playing Allah. This is why I ask those people to tell me who Allah is. This is why I ask people this question, because guess what? Allah becomes anything they want Allah to be. They start giving you, the human attributes they think Allah should be. Not only with Allah, they do this with God too. When you talk to even Christians, people would tell you about how upset God is at something. Are you God? How do you know this? And most Africans are doing this, without even realizing it. It seems like they are in trance. It's like their mind is completely captured by this fantasy. This is what I'm trying to wake you up from. Go ahead, St. James.
So that's the last word?
No, we got, no, you good. Your last word, and then we have Kofi Black too.
Okay, so for me, it's simple. Let's keep having this conversation. I know it's not going to resonate with a lot of people, with a lot of Africans, but the only way we're going to achieve something is to continue to talk about it. And I hope and believe that people are going to, try to challenge themselves by the information they got. This is how I did it. I wasn't in that space just like I didn't switch in one day. It took time. And I hope that I know the problem that we are having in Africa, for the country where I'm from. You see the Sahel regions,
right?
You see this one religion that is causing it, and you can't turn around and say, oh, this doesn't have anything to do with religion. This one religion that's causing this,
right?
So let's address it from the roots. Like even the people in the region acknowledge it. Through military, yeah, we have the firepower. We can go kill these people. Physically, we can do that. But tomorrow, a new breed is going to come. The
mentality.
Yeah, the mentality. 50 years later, we still going to have to deal with the same issue. That's why I'm telling Africans, Africans, trust me, when I go back home, people are afraid of me because I always go back to villages. I do things that normal people don't do. And people always ask me, why are you doing this? I'm like, okay, there is a reason why I'm doing this, because I'm seeking knowledge.
Yeah.
That was hidden for me. And you guys are not looking for it. It's there, but you chose not to. So
they don't want to learn.
They don't want to learn. They just want to go by what is easy. When you ask the question, when it comes to Christianity, when I ask the question, I know that these people can't even have a debate with you. They can't. They don't even have the facts. You ask them questions, they're like, "Oh yeah, you know what? You're not supposed to ask questions." I said, "Okay,
Well,
that's
yeah.
why I know you're dumb."
They will go to the page of the Bible to respond to you.
Yes,
Say,
that's
okay,
why I know you're dumb.
When you ask them a question, they say, okay, let's go to the book of Malachi.
Yes, that's why I know you're dumb.
They'll say, let's see what God says. Dude,
Yeah.
I don't believe that's what God said. Why are you telling me about the book of Malachi and the book of Matthew? I don't give a shit. That's not logic, man. I'm speaking to actual logic, not what the Bible says, dude. I don't care what the Bible says, man. That's what Christians do.
Have you seen a black pope?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was one Nigerian. There was one when the last pope died. There was one Nigerian man. It was supposed to be his turn, you know. Only good man like that.
Hey, my people. Hey, my people. Can I get in a word? Because I might drop off.
Yeah, go for it. St. James, hold on. St. James is gonna finish his last piece.
No, I'm all done, man. I'm enjoying the conversation. Y'all can go ahead. Thank you.
All right, thank you, St. James, and thanks, Mike. Go ahead, Ikan.
Yes. See, I'm Jamaican, right? But I'm trying to inspire my African brothers on the continent to take back the continent. We want North Africa. If who is going to be there have to be under us. There's nowhere in Africa a black man should be under nobody except his own people. There's nowhere in Africa a next race supposed to have autonomy. You feel me? We need to regenerate, reactivate the Bantu expansion. God damn it. You feel me? We need black east, west, north, and south of Africa.
The Bantu need to understand the environment the Bantu is in first, you know, than trying to expand at this point.
Confused. We are confused by either Christianity or Islam. So my mission is to convince both of them to let's go against the goddamn enslaver. You feel me? The enslaver of you and you and you and me. You feel me? The one that take away your property. You feel me? Have his autonomy on your motherland, not their motherland, on your motherland. You feel me? We need to get greedy. We need to get jealous and stop doing all of those things to ourselves. We greedy to each other. We jealous of each other. But we never jealous of these Arabs. You feel me? Listen, man, we need to take our time and grow and take back our continent. You feel me? And by extension, there's a lot of our goal outside of the world, outside of Africa. And we need to decide, we need to put it in our children that we need it back. We need back our shit. We too easy. We too easy going, and we too conniving with each other. But we're not conniving with white people, and we're not conniving with Arabs. You see, we're not robbing these people. We're not taking nothing from them. These people are so safe in the continent. Hold on, you know, Arab.
Maybe they are super slick, but we are like at the top of the hour. Because I don't want to go over, so we're almost like, so if we can let Black Coffee so we don't go over the time.
Okay, my people. Respect. It's the first time coming on, and my respect and much love to the Gambia.
Yeah, no problem, man. Hey, you're welcome here anytime.
Respect, brother. Respect.
Thank you. Respect. And I'm gonna read this real quick. Visionary of Love said, I really don't have any need to defend Arabs, but wasn't them who donated 500 rams to Gambia last Ramadan? One ram costed minimum $200 last Ramadan. It wasn't Ramadan. You see, that's what I was talking about. So the people that went to the pilgrimage to Mecca, it is not a donation. When they travel there, they buy those rams. They buy them to, for sacrifice on the Eid, because that's what they go there for. So when they kill those rams, the people that went on this pilgrimage, they're not eating the ram, they're not cooking it. So they package all these rams and ship them to the various countries. So no, they did not donate it to the Gambian. The people paid for that. When they went there for the pilgrimage, they bought it. And yeah, for Tobaski, exactly. That's not donation. The people that went on the pilgrimage paid for those rams. They bought it, they killed it over there in Saudi, then they package it and ship it. So I gotta give it to the Saudis on that part. Yeah, they bought the ram, they couldn't eat it there, they shipped it back to their countries. So that's cool. All right. Kofi, you got 60 seconds. Go for it.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Okay, I'll give you 120 seconds. Go
All
for
right,
it.
brother. All right. It's very refreshing, and I'm very glad. I love this space. I'm from the Caribbean, and it's very refreshing to see that Africans are waking up. Because in my studies of African history, our downfall is usually the religion that we take from other people, but we do it in a very kind-hearted, spiritual way. But people that give us religion, they have nefarious, plans of why they're doing it. And I always said that the Arab slave trade was one of the worst things that happens to Africans. And a brother on here said that too, because it opened up for everybody else. So there's a famous Black American African teacher named Dr. Henry Clark. He said that what Islam did was decimated a lot of African people to the point where we couldn't fight white Christians coming in because we were fighting Islam. We're fighting Islam from the north, and we're fighting white people coming into West Africa from there. So we were spread very thin. But it's very refreshing to see that. I'll end with this. I know a brother here in New York. He's Muslim, very good brother.
Right.
He's from Senegal.
Right.
He's Wolof.
Sorry, your audio is messing.
I'm sorry. He's from Wolof.
Yeah.
And I asked him, so I met him during Ramadan. And I asked him, he's very proud Muslim. But I asked him a question. I was like, what are you? What do you consider yourself? Do you consider yourself a Muslim, or do you consider yourself Wolof? He looked at me like I was crazy. Like, why should I? He can't even answer the question, and that's our problem. We put our religion as our identity.
You know why he can't answer that? Because if he say Wolof, they're not gonna be speaking Wolof in paradise. So he doesn't want to take that chance. You see?
Oh, okay.
So it's funny that you said this, because that's exactly what I said. Most Africans, if you ask them about their identity and remove religion, tell them don't describe religion, most of them won't be able to give you an identity of who they really are. It is tied to the religions. This is just the teaching. It's just the truth. And you're very right. I'm glad you asked that question. I'm glad you did, because it would give you an idea, what people are thinking. Most definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I always tell people, you got to think of Desmond Tutu. When he said when a white man came to Africa, he had the Bible, we had the land. He gave us the Bible, we looked up, he had the land, and we had the Bible. And the rest is history.
You're absolutely correct. Thank you for coming in, and do not hesitate to call. Thank you so much. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of today's show. Look, I know some of you are in the chat over there getting upset. Even though I dropped the link, you would never call in. And you cannot go back and say, oh, Afridamus is not letting people speak. That's not what's happening here. And again, don't think that I'm sitting over here trying to be for or against anyone. But I want us as a people to open our eyes. You look around, the only people that are changing their identity, as far as I know, in mass, is African people. That is the truth. Some of you are going to deny it. You're not gonna, because deep down, what I'm saying is in conflict with what you believe in. And I'm not gonna apologize for that. And I'm not here to, you know, to strengthen your belief system or not. If you truly believe in what you believe in, and is prospering Africa, and you can use it in a healthy and positive way, by all means you're free to join the panel and speak your piece. But if you don't have that, whatever you are hiding behind, you yourself, you are not sure. But regardless, I thank you for coming to the show. Maybe this would help you see things differently. And for those of you that are already, on par with what I'm saying, for those of you that's already been thinking this way, I'm glad I'm able to clear that cloud for you. And for those of you who didn't see things this way, I hope this would give you a new perspective of life. I hope this would have you rethinking, what your options are, in this life and in the afterlife. If you're for the 72 virgins, more power to you. You see what I'm saying? Some people are opting out of that. That's just what I'm trying to, let you guys know. And as long as they keep pushing that, you guys heard. Imagine all those young boys that I told you, the ones they are teaching to memorize the Quran, and they are saying, if you blow yourself up, guess what? That's jihad. You get to have 73 virgins. So, do you think people who are hopeless, people who don't have much to look for, how hard would it be to convince them to do this? See, that's my point. And until you wake up and truly see what I'm saying, instead of just condemning what I'm saying, things will never change. I'm just telling you right now, it will never change. Because these tough conversations, these are the conversations we need to have as a people, instead of just pretending like these things don't exist. And I'm not sitting here saying Islam is evil or Christianity is evil. That's not what I'm saying. But you as a person, how do you fit into these spaces? How do you fit in it? That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. I want to hear your perspective. But when you are running away pretending that, oh, you are high and mighty and perfect, trust me, that is the downfall of Africa. Until next time, I will see you guys again. Enjoy.